T minus 10 minutes. T minus 9 minutes. T minus 8 minutes. T minus 7 minutes. T minus 6 minutes. T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes.
I hear you.
Gotcha.
Can y'all hear me up there?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Okay, we're gonna run the music like normal, okay?
Okay.
Just
T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's week 5 of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series, powered by Ortho Carolina. Tonight, Olympic hosts South Mecklenburg from South Charlotte as we close down our 2022 slate here on the NFHS Network. And we get set for another Friday night battle under the lights. The Sabres and the Trojans, 3-4 against undefeated 7-0, getting set to go from the QC one more time this fall. Hello again, everyone. Corey Hodges alongside Armand Brody, our entire team here inside our own private booth here up in the press box at Olympic High School. And Armand, it's always a big time when homecoming arrives. That's obvious anywhere, but especially tonight for 7-0 Olympic. And this is a team led by one of the best quarterbacks you'll see, a very confident head coach, everything leaning the way of Olympic. But South Mecklenburg, they've got a very confident coach as well, a confident team. Somebody wants to spoil homecoming tonight. Let's do it.
Corey, a really interesting matchup here tonight. Two teams who are obviously looking for a victory, but they're coming at this game from different perspectives. Olympic is riding high. Olympic, man, they've been marvelous this season. 7-0, undefeated in conference 3-0. Meanwhile, South Meck 3-4, 2-1 in conference play. But South Meck is coming off a really tough loss. They were blown out last week by Ardrey-Kell 43-12. Meanwhile, Olympic 9 touchdowns last week against Berry. They win that game 63-14. And both these teams are coming at this game from different angles. South Meck looking for redemption. Meanwhile, Olympic they've got a larger goal in mind.
Yeah.
And when we talked with Olympic head coach Brandon Thompson, he was frank with us, right? We asked the question, you got a job to do with this team, right? Because go back to last year, Olympic lost 3 games straight by a combined 7 points.
Yeah.
They lost to Ardrey-Kell, they lost to Myers Park, and they lost to this South Meck team.
Right.
7 points. And Brandon Thompson told us earlier this week, he said, we would have been conference champions. We were 7 points away from being conference champions. How about that? You want to talk about inches and just a few points here and there being the determining factor. That's pretty astounding. But this Olympic team, they know they can win a championship. Meanwhile, South Meck and Joe Evans, head coach there, maybe that message isn't quite the same. But the intensity is there, the effort is there, the hustle is there, and this is a team that believes that they can come in here tonight and win this football game. Now, are the odds stacked up against them? Okay, if you want to say that, sure. But that's why you play the games, right? You get on the field.
Sure. And
it's homecoming too, right? And sometimes, Corey, the activity and all the festivities surrounding a homecoming game could be a distraction. Distraction is a word that's used far too much, in my opinion, especially in football. No sport loves the word distraction like football does. Maybe, just maybe, this homecoming atmosphere could be a bit of a distraction for the Olympic players. I'm sure Brandon Thompson, the head coach, and his staff has talked to this team about the importance of being locked in and being focused. You don't want to find yourself in one of those trap games here.
Right.
But I'm sure that that message has been to the team. But let's face it, right? It's a homecoming game. There's a lot of things going on. 3 of the Olympic players, in fact, are running for a homecoming game.
Yeah.
We got to tell this story. I'm laughing because when we talked with head coach Brandon Thompson, we asked him, are any of your guys running for homecoming game? And he says, almost like he's disappointed, he said, yeah, and a long sigh. And then he says, they think they're smooth, but they they think they're smooth, but they're not. But there's an excitement in the air with this Olympic team, and you can feel it. But South Meck is a worthy opponent. South Meck beat Olympic last year, as we just said, and so for Olympic, it's a little bit of a redemption game as well, not just because they're focused on the larger goal, not just because they're focused on winning a conference championship or state championship, but they're looking at this team and they're saying, you guys stood in our way of us getting to our goal last year. And even when we talked with Coach Brandon Thompson, what did he say? He said, and thinking about those 3 losses back to back to back, because they started the season, they had to miss a game because of COVID, but they started the season 6-0, and then they lost their last 3. And Brandon Thompson said, I still think about it.
Yeah.
I try not to talk about it with my players, but it eats away at him, right?
Of course.
And so they're coming into this season, they're coming into this game saying, okay, this is a redemption game for us. This is a redemption year for us, but South Meck is still a worthy opponent.
Very worthy opponent, and on a 65-degree night, feels like fall. It is fall. It is a perfect atmosphere for homecoming. And you brought up a good point, as you always do, Armand, about how Thompson was speaking with us, and some good humor mixed in there. You can tell someone who's serious, but someone who really cares for his players. I really got that vibe off of him as well. But he really said to us he was just thankful to have 9 months of consistency coming into the season. No COVID issues, no spring season issues, and of course, this was a team that had to go through some of their off the field issues last year as well. Another school not immune to that here in Charlotte. Unfortunately, they put that behind them. They're ready to go. Talk about putting it behind them.
Yeah.
They're 7-0. But I look at this team, Armand, and of course, probably some of the most glowing praise was out there for the quarterback tonight. And of course, that's Elijah Holmes and all the things that he can do. We know that he is going to be a big part of this offense tonight, obviously being the signal caller, obviously being someone who has double-digit touchdowns, both passing and rushing. This is an Olympic team that is stacked from top to bottom. On the flip side for South Mecklenburg, they've got some playmakers as well. I guess it's one of those homecomings where you want to see what is Olympic really capable of, and this is a classic get-back game after the loss to South Mecklenburg last year.
You're right about that. I want to go back to Elijah Holmes because this is just a remarkable player. 16 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, more than 1,900 passing yards. He's very close to that 2,000-yard mark, and he's only played in 13 quarters. Olympic has been blowing teams out so much that there's been no need to keep Elijah Holmes in these games because you don't want him to get hurt. And so he's doing all of this on limited playing time, if you will, and yet they're still playing marvelous football. The offense is humming. The defense is spectacular. Olympics defense giving up just 7.6 points per game. South Meck, good luck against that kind of a talented defense. And South Meck is coming into this game with a backup quarterback. They lost their starter, Cam Reese, last month, tore his ACL in a game against Cuthbertson, and so the starting quarterback is Brock Rissmiller, a converted tight end. And here you go, Brock. This is your night. This is your ball to a handle here. So we'll see how Brock performs tonight. But a tall task indeed, playing against an elite defense. And interestingly enough, one of their stars is named Elite Nairn, and we'll talk about him as we go throughout the night. But good luck, Brock, dealing with this Olympic defense. They are full of talent.
Yeah, that's a great story as well about, as you said, a converted tight end who's now the quarterback, and not a lot of pressure on him initially from head coach Joe Evans, to where he said, look, we're going to put you out there. We don't need you to go out and win the game for us. We just need you to go out there and kind of manage things. And even Evans talked about how with the issues that Brock has dealt with as a tight end, now being a quarterback, he can look at the line. He can see changes because, of course, as everyone who knows a little bit about football, especially modern football, a tight end is responsible for so much, especially run blocking and making sure things are set up. That's something that benefits him. But to your other point as well, Armand, about interceptions, about this Olympic defense that has been holding teams to no more than 14 points allowed to the opponent in every game so far this season in their 7 consecutive victories to start 2022. But you're looking at a team, Armand, the secondary, with 11 interceptions this season. And even Thompson said to us, if you want about 3, 4, 5 interceptions on your ledger, come to Olympic. Join our team.
That's exactly what he said. A dominant defense in every sense of the word. And it just wreaks havoc on an offense, but especially so when you're dealing with a backup quarterback. Move from the tight end spot. Really tough task for him tonight. We'll see how South Meck performs in that area. It's going to be a difficult task, though. Make no mistake about it.
It will be, and you look a little bit more at, of course, this talented Olympic team and, of course, who they face tonight in South Mecklenburg. And, of course, as well, you look at their running backs, too, because that's a big part of Olympics game, and you see, of course, what they've done out there this season, and we'll keep an eye on those backs for sure. One of those, especially Devin Walker, and they have a good 1-2 punch in the backfield. Does Olympic there. Great wide receivers set. Everything is great. You look at their receiving numbers, multiple players in the receiving core with multiple possessions, 100-plus yards, triple digits in terms of their yardage. Running back, same thing. We've seen already what you see now, the quarterback Elijah Holmes with his rushing ability. Already, multiple touchdowns on the ground. So Olympic kind of does everything on the defensive side as well. And for South Mecklenburg, of course, you go back to that still somewhat untested quarterback. But we got so much great information, as we always do, and you could feel South Mecklenburg and Joe Evans talking about his team, very confident in his team, but still looking for some answers for a team that lost so many players, especially from their offensive line last season. A team that, like most teams, Armand, they want to send players to college. They're doing that, but then you've got those holes to fill the next year after they graduate.
Right about that. 9 starters they're replacing on defense, South Meck, from last year. What a tall task to do that. 3 and 4, this would be a big win for them.
Let's go down to the field.
Started now, not before you back. I started now, not before you back. It's a real football player.
Back up into the press box, inching ever closer towards kickoff to get things started on this Friday night. Again, Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, our entire team. The Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina, our 5th and final week, season finale this year here in mid-October as South Mecklenburg visiting Olympic tonight. And again, getting close to that kickoff, Armand, and again, back to some of the thoughts that we had from earlier this week in our conversations with the coaches. And one thing I'll be watching tonight, so many things to watch in this matchup because it is a great one, is again the somewhat untested nature of a couple of fixtures for South Mecklenburg against a very powerful Olympic team. And it may come down to which quarterback is able to remain as steady as possible. And you brought it up before we went down to the field for our pregame ceremonies about how quarterback for South Mecklenburg may be under duress at times. How does he handle the pressure? Can it be another, on the flip side, another great offensive showing this season for the Olympic quarterback, and how you're talking about someone with the best quarterback rating in the state, but someone who, in the words of head coach Brandon Thompson, is criminally underlooked.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said he's been banging the door, so to speak, on these college recruits, trying to get his guys more attention. But he did say that the Power 5 guys and even Group of 5 guys in other colleges really have fallen in love with Elijah Holmes, and for good reason. He's just been marvelous, and the players love him, the coaches love him, and as we go throughout the game here, you're going to hear a little bit more about what Brandon Thompson had to say about his star quarterback, who's also a baseball player as well. So just supremely talented, as you see. Elijah is number 12. He's one of the captains taking the field right now for Olympic as they get ready for the coin toss with South Meck coming on the other side. They'll meet up there, and we're just moments away from getting this game started. But it's going to be critical for Olympic to stay composed. Even when we talked to Brandon Thompson, he was talking about the penalties, and he was talking about making sure that his team stayed hungry and and didn't get lost in all of the noise. He was really big on that towards the end of the conversation, making sure that the guys knew that this was a week-to-week thing. It's cliche, you hear it all the time in football. Let's be 1-0 every week and all those things. But it does ring true. It really does.
It does, and that's one thing that we picked up on, among others, as we get a pretty sunset here tonight as well, and getting set for action under the lights. Again, 3-4 South Mecklenburg and undefeated 7-0 Olympic, kind of setting things up here as we get to the final couple weeks of the regular season, wrapping things up here in about 2 weeks' time, and final regular season game for Olympic will come on October the 28th against Myers Park. For South Mecklenburg, they're pretty much in the same situation here. 2 more games left. They'll finish it up against Harding on October the 28th. And we get set now to watch the banner crack for Olympic, and always the big moment here, Armand. They come out onto the field for homecoming.
Here they come, the Olympic Trojans. How about it? A lot of fanfare too, man. I don't think this is our first time we've ever seen this kind of an opening.
Like the Motor Mile.
Yeah.
Double as the Milwaukee Mile almost here tonight as the Harleys come out, motorbikes.
It's a great shot too.
Look at that. Are we at Charlotte Motor Speedway or are we at Olympic High School? Feels like this is a summer shootout night.
The crowd is waiting now. The anticipation is building. Some fancy vehicles too, man.
Look at that. Neon lighting, the extra accoutrements there for those vehicles, all decked out. That is something. Look at that.
Nothing like Friday night.
And this is a special show. Yeah, we're treated to something different here already here tonight at Olympic. Check that out. Then in a single file procession down to greet the fans here at Olympic High School, and that red Olympic logo outlined in white just fluttering in the Friday night breeze. Check that out.
Here come the Trojans now pouring out of the field house, lining up behind that huge Olympic Trojan sign. In just a moment, they're going to bust that thing down to a raucous crowd.
This is high school football.
Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
I almost feel like saying, gentlemen, start your engines, man.
That's what it's really leaning towards. It just feels like, again, we're almost like we're in Bowman Gray or something like that, a Friday night. Start them up. What a sight.
This is what you get on Friday nights. You know, when you're 7-0,
Yeah.
you can do stuff like this.
That's right.
Have them circle the track. And I'm assuming they only make one trip, but they're going around again, Corey.
Oh.
Here
Here they come.
they're politely bursting through.
Yeah. Picking up the speed now with that red, white smoke. 7-0 undefeated Olympic. Out of the tunnel, ready to go. South Mecklenburg already out there. And finally, we can put aside the pregame discussion and all of the what-ifs and get ready for actual football kickoff just moments away, and they are coming around for a second lap, Armand.
Yes, they are. While they're doing that, I want to get to the Ortho Carolina keys to
Yes.
the game, because we've talked quite a bit about this game the last 10 or so minutes. But keys to the game, Ortho Carolina. Number one, take shots early. I'm talking about South Meck. Listen, you're an underdog in this game. Take your shots. Trick play here. Maybe you catch the Trojans napping a bit defensively, a flea flicker here, an onside kick there. You got to take some shots, right, to let Olympic know that you've come to win, you've come to play in this ball game tonight, and make Brock uncomfortable. We're talking about Olympic going after the quarterback, Brock Rissmiller. This is a guy that, as you talked about, Corey, Joe Evans said, we don't need you to be a hero, Brock. We need you to manage the game. Well, if you can get pressure, especially with 4, and Brandon Thompson told us, we're not a big blitzing team. So if we can get pressure with 3 or 4, now we're really making Brock uncomfortable. We're really sort of rattling him a bit, which could lead to some takeaways, which is where Olympic has thrived this season, which could lead to some easy opportunities for points.
Pretty sight. Now you have to deal with a little bit of the smoke here as well. It's kind of turn things around a bit. We've got to deal with that to at least clear off of the field. And
Homecoming haze.
yes. So now we can finally get into this thing and get ready for South Mecklenburg to kick away to Olympic. The Trojans here at home, but they'll get it first to start quarter number 1. 12 on the board. And just moments away, just past 7 o'clock as we get set. So after all that build-up, now time to get down to business, as they say.
Trojans won the toss and said, we want the football, but we're going to have to wait a moment here as all the haze from the pregame festivities has not quite gone away. We'll see what the officials do here. They're getting in place, it appears. It looks like we're going to play football here in Charlotte.
Cohen Webb will kick it away for South Mecklenburg as we get ready to go. Our series season finale here from Olympic High School in South Charlotte, as Webb will kick away for South Mecklenburg in at 3-4, Olympic at 7-0 on homecoming night. What else could Olympic possibly put out there to display their powers this season?
You know, we had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We've had it, what, maybe three or four times? One was called back.
That's right.
But every game we've had some sort of craziness on the opening kick. We'll see what we get here.
Get something again here maybe from the ultra-talented Cohen Webb, who can do so much of anything. South Mecklenburg a lot of times asks Webb to kick off, punt, throw it downfield. He pretty much agrees to everything, so the kind of do it all for you. Cohen Webb will kick it away for South Mecklenburg. We're off and away on a Friday night from Olympic High School in South Charlotte. Picked up, here comes the return, looking towards the 20 and just past, as here comes Olympic, returned by Kyrie Bishop for the Trojans.
Good job by South Meck on the coverage there. Bishop did not have much to get to. That kick went a little farther than Bishop initially thought it would. He had to backpedal, and they only got to about the 21-yard line. That's where Olympic's going to start 1st and 10.
Initially a little bit of trouble that time for Bishop, who did pick it back up and got it back going the right way. As again, the smoke continues to clear. We can even pick up some of that smoke smell here in the press box after that parade lap pregame. Right, yeah, exactly. Thinking about our friends outside of the press box as well. So here we go. Olympic with the football. First play is a passing play caught by Sterling Green, but a short gain to set up 2nd down on the throw from Elijah Holmes.
You expect to see this here tonight. A lot of quick tosses, quick passes. Sterling Green, one of their great targets for Holmes. Super fast track runner too, man.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see him with some deep threats tonight as well. But a short gain there, just 3 yards.
2nd and 7. Ball at the 23-yard line. This is shoved out to the flats, and no gain that time as Devin Walker, the running back, gets his first touch of the night. Looks like it'll be 3rd down. In fact, a loss that time of 2 yards. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Good job by South Meck's defense there, reading that play beautifully. Trent Santiago, their senior linebacker. And I love what Coach Evans said about him. He said the dude's built like a rock.
Yeah, the rock.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep.
Dwayne Johnson.
That's what he's a big, strong guy, built like a man. That was a nice play he made on the outside.
3rd and 9. Moore dropping, firing, incomplete. As Moore was looking for a target that'll post 4th down. And no flag, so Olympic will punt. D'Angelo Hall looked like the target that time from Elijah Holmes, and so Olympic will punt, 3 and out.
Coverage by Grayson Little. A little confusing there. A little miscommunication as the pass was thrown over the middle, and it looked like receiver didn't know whether to continue the route or not, but South Meck gets a nice stop here, and just a minute and a half in the game, they'll get the ball.
Ready now on the punt by Alex Wiley, the 4th. Bounces and held back just past the 45-yard line, call it at the 43-yard line, as DeMalachi Morris that time for Olympic was the one who got to it and got a hand on it. And so we'll see South Mecklenburg for the first time tonight, 10:31 to play in the first quarter.
Smart play, too, by Morris. Don't want to lose any more field position, and excellent field position for South Meck. But here they'll start the ball at the 44-yard line. Once again, though, credit to the defense. Really good stop for them. Now you get the ball offensively. You see what your quarterback, Brock Miller, can do. Be important to see how Olympic defends him. As we said, Brandon Thompson not big on the blitzing, but they may change it up tonight. We'll see.
Miller, the former tight end, now in at quarterback over the last couple weeks. It's a running play to start for South Mecklenburg as a hand to Cash Hunter, the running back. Hunter looking towards the 45-yard line. Olympic there to meet him defensively. Second down.
And already number 90, Elite Nairn, was in there on the stop. He's going to be active tonight. He's a Liberty commit, headed to Liberty in January, and he is a 6'4", about 240 pounds. One of the great leaders on this fantastic Olympic defense.
10 solo tackles for Nair coming in to the night. It's 2nd and 8, gain of 2 that time on the run by Hunter. Here's Miller again handing it off. Looks like Hunter, again the back, will take it up for a couple more. Set up 3rd down and probably 6 here from a couple yards shy of midfield.
That play, Parker Harrington, the offensive lineman, number 61, tasked with trying to keep Nairn in check, and didn't do a bad job on that play, leading to a decent gain and a 3rd and medium now for South Meck.
Saw this coming to pass after the injury earlier in the season to Cam Reese. That was ACL injury, and so Reese out, and that paved the way for Brock Miller, the tight end, predominantly, to come in and play quarterback. Miller will roll, pumps it, fires it. That's a first down and more to the 30-yard line as Miller hooks up and finds his target, Tyquez Mallet, for a first down.
This is the guy that head coach Joe Evans underlined. Ortho Carolina instant replay, a hard roll to the left. And Mallett's one of those guys, you just want him to get the ball. He's a Swiss Army knife, according to his head coach. Does kick returns, running back, wide receiver, corner. He does it all for this South Meck Sabres team.
Yeah, Mallet, kind of our Swiss Army knife, as you said, plays all kinds of different positions. Here's a running play now for Cash Hunter. Hunter will bounce it outside, gets past the 25-yard line, and a second down coming up.
Like what Coach had to say about his running back crew. He said they push each other.
Yeah.
Cash Hunter's right up there on the list. We'll also expect to see Griffin Fickling and Xavier Bolden tonight for South Meck on the running side, but really high praise from Coach Joe Evans about that running back group.
Second down and short here for South Mecklenburg, just past the 20-yard line. Again, handing to Cash Hunter, who finds the footing a little bit tense there. 3rd down as Olympic brought some pressure in. One of those who got to him first was Tajir Barnes. 3rd down.
Looks like number 50, Tavares Boone, was in there as well. Boone, the 6'3", 230-pound junior D lineman, making the play there. And 3rd and short, though. This is a good situation for South Meck to be in. Your quarterback can do a lot, and he can scramble. Don't forget about that.
Ball at the 21-yard line on 3rd and 3. Miller fires, intercepted. Trojans get the pick in the secondary. Their 12th interception of the season, and that one taken away by Devin Evans, who turns over Miller and South Mecklenburg, and it's Olympic football, under 8 to play, quarter number 1.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. Oh, my heart goes out to Brock here. He just didn't see the coverage well enough there and threw it right to Evans, who picked it off. But it was said to us by Coach Joe Evans that Brock is more of a pocket passer. As opposed to quarterback Cam Reese, who tore his ACL, more of a dual threat quarterback. But on that play, oh, you wish Brock would have made a better decision there. Really cost South Meck, and now Olympic gets the ball at the 40-yard line.
Devin Evans, his 2nd interception of the season. Mentioned South Mecklenburg now with a dirty dozen in terms of picks. They have 12 of them, and Evans, the 6'4" junior, picks off the South Mecklenburg quarterback, Miller. So here come the Trojans now. They have it at the 40-yard line. Handoff, running play to the right for a couple. to set up second down as Devin Walker took it that time.
Yep, good carry there by Devin Walker, and Thompson likes this running back group. Devin Walker and Reese Graham, they'll both get carries here. 7 touchdowns combined as you look at Joe Evans on the South Meck side, but he's got a 1-2 punch. They call him Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah. Evans, a guy, a no-nonsense guy who had so much to say about his team, especially when it comes to the defensive side of things. Here goes Devin Walker, who's tripped up, and Walker not able to get back for somewhat of a gain that time as Benji Tidwell came in to stop Walker cold, third down.
Got a good block there, though, by number 56, Christian Carranza, their junior offensive lineman. He's about 6 feet, 250 pounds. But a good tackle there to prevent that first down.
3rd and 5 now from the 45-yard line. Fresh off of the interception, Olympic trying to avoid a 3 and out after getting the ball back on the pick. Elijah Holmes. Walker in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Holmes looks with 4 wide. Holmes drops, scurries. Holmes up the middle, has the first down. Look at the physicality. Shoves his defender ahead, and he's into South Mecklenburg territory. Elijah Holmes.
What a play here by Holmes. Dual threat ability. That's what Brandon Thompson said. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Watch him step up here, and he takes on Santiago. Boom! Santiago's that massive rock we were talking about earlier. Yeah. But Elijah Holmes said, I ain't scared.
Holmes kind of taking a page out of the Carson Wentz book from last night. Here goes Devin Walker, and Walker shoots straight ahead for the Olympic touchdown. Walker found space, and like a lightning bolt to the end zone, 6-0 Trojans over the Sabres. First quarter.
That, my friends, is a 44-yard touchdown. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Oh, just a huge hole created by the offensive line. And when you're able to get that kind of blocking, especially at the next level, the 2nd and 3rd level, man, can you create some running lanes for your running backs.
12th rushing touchdown of the season for Devin Walker. And now Olympic lines up for the extra point. Jared Goals on to try to make it 7-0, and he does with no problem. 6:14 to go in the first quarter. Olympic 7-0 leading over South Mecklenburg. When it comes to your orthopedic care, you can choose better by choosing Ortho Carolina. With over 40 locations throughout the Carolinas, you're never far from one of the nation's leading providers of care for joints, muscles, other orthopedic injuries as well. When things look bad, it's important to know you have a choice. But there's only one better choice, and that's Ortho Carolina. Ortho Carolina, proud to serve as the official orthopedic care provider of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series. And this is a rivalry. South Mecklenburg with the win over Olympic last season. You mentioned it pregame, Armand, and that right there was a sequence that could have gone not badly, but could have fizzled away a bit. We had a 3rd down. We saw the incredible play there from the quarterback, and to see what Elijah Holmes did with his physicality, again, kind of reminded me of what Carson Wentz did last night on Thursday Night Football when he got into the defensive back and just shoved him aside. Maybe a page from professional down to high school, and then Devin Walker just punctuated it.
But Elijah Holmes, though, man, that play was really impressive.
Yeah.
He just stands up the defender, Santiago, takes him on and picks up the first down, which then leads to the touchdown run of 44 yards there by Devin Walker. One of my favorite parts of that play, though, was the Cameron Stanford, the offensive lineman. He was running at the 2nd and 3rd level looking for somebody to block.
Goals will kick it away. That one bounces just past the 20, rolled out with a shy of the 20, so that's where South Mecklenburg will set it up. Sabres down here.
Got a flag, I believe.
A touchdown. We'll see if this is re-kicked here by Goals, or at least where they may spot it here.
It's on Olympic offside, so we're going to do this over the Piers. Yep, move them back, kick it again.
Jared Goals, good height for the kicking spot at 6'4". We'll go ahead and place this down and do it again on a low 60-degree night. Really no wind at all out there, so not a factor. And a pretty sunset here as well on just a perfect night for homecoming, and the home crowd loves it here early on. So goals will try again. Low angling kick fielded at the 25-yard line by Michael Nesbitt. Nesbitt still up. Nesbitt to the 50. Nesbitt far side is close to the 30-yard line and run out. Good return for the ultra quick and another do-it-all-for-you guy, Michael Nesbitt.
He most certainly is 6'4", about 185. Senior wideout, Ortho Carolina instant replay, a short kick, and he's just able to find a space. And a great job, he breaks that tackle there, that arm tackle, and springs free racing down the sideline. An awesome return by Nesbitt, whose brother Bryson is a starting tight end at UNC, and whose father is one of the coaches on the South Meck staff. So well done, Michael, keeping it at the family and making the folks proud with that big return to set South Meck up with splendid field position.
Yeah, Deion Sanders and company, who makes more headlines these days than Deion Sanders? And just got an offer from Jackson State, did Michael Nesbitt, just this past week. So talk about riding high and keeping things going. Quick out here to Tyquez Mallet. Second down coming up for South Mecklenburg. So often you hear about how there's a family connection, someone who plays for the Tar Heels, and the talent is there, and we saw it on the return at 6'4", 185, long, lean, and can jump out of the gym, in the words of his head coach Joe Evans. And a good return here at second and short, just second and 2 yards to gain here from the 25-yard line. Running play to the outside. Got a flag that came in late on the run by Cash Hunter. We'll pick up the penalty here and find out what that's about, as Hunter's been the predominant back here so far.
Good job, though, by Man Cordray. You're looking at him right there, number 31. Good pursuit, ran him down and made that tackle. We will check the flag here, though. Cordray, their senior D lineman, 6'2", about 208 pounds. One of those guys who running for homecoming king.
Yeah, right.
Face mask.
Okay. On Olympic. That's the first down for South Mecklenburg, and they'll get the penalty yardage tacked on there too.
So they get a 43-yard kick return by Michael Nesbitt, and then they get the face mask penalty to move them up here, and they're in the red zone right now. And once again, I want to just reiterate this. Brock Rissmiller, he's a backup quarterback, but he's thick. He's a big guy, and he's hard to bring down. If he takes off running, look out.
Ball at the 15-yard line. Another quick out, but that one's dropped. Had it right in the hands. Tyquez Mallet, again, the intended target. And incomplete on the toss by Rissmiller, second down.
You certainly want the ball in Tyquez Mallet's hands. The ball hit his hands, but didn't complete the catch, did Mallet, so that forces the second down and 10. The Trojan logo, or the mascot, I should say, is greeting folks. Looks like he's having a good time.
Interacting with everyone, and some high fives to the kids, and the kids at heart, as they say. Just a great atmosphere, probably the best one we've seen this year. Cash Hunter with the carry, probably the most productive run so far here in the first quarter for Hunter. He gets ahead and set up third and short.
Nice job on the left side of that offensive line. They got a good push, and we talked about this defensive front, this unit for Olympic. An intimidating presence, but South Meck on that play, really good push up front, creating that space for the nice gain and forcing now a third down and medium for South Meck.
Third down and 5 for the Sabres. Ball at the 10-yard line. The back is still Hunter, and Rissmiller calls for it, gives it to Hunter, who goes straight ahead, but is met in a pile by Olympic defenders. One of those Manuel Cordray II, but he was just one of many. 4th down.
He sure was. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Watch, they bring a blitz from the edge, and that just blows the play up. The initial rush there by Jairon Tosi, one of their linebackers, 5'11", 175-pound sophomore there. He was one of the first ones to get in there and make the initial hit, and then after that, it was a free-for-all as more red jerseys came to swarming.
Field goal try now for the Sabres, and it's up and good by Ben Loughran. Makes it 7-3, so the drive that started out with that nice return by South Mecklenburg to get themselves into position on that Nesbitt return, kind of bogged down a bit, but then salvaged by Loughran. 7-3, 4:18 to go in quarter number 1. So good response there for the Sabres, and we've already seen some of those playmakers, of course Nesbitt being one of them. And of course, we've already seen the quarterback as well, Armand, Brock Rissmiller, and something else that Joe Evans brought up to us is that probably one of the biggest fears for South Mecklenburg is to have a backup to their backup. They're already down Cam Reese for the rest of the season with his ACL tear. So unfortunate for him a couple weeks ago. Since then, of course, Rissmiller has come in. But if you get an injury to Rissmiller, then you're down to your 3rd string. So trying to keep him protected. And even Evans said the best safety net for a backup quarterback is to hand it off. And we're seeing that from Hunter.
That's what he said. And it's incumbent upon the offensive line, too, to do their job and to make the game easier for your quarterback as well by standing tall.
That's it. This one is popped up. Not much distance on it. Goes out of bounds at the 35, and then a hard hit, little extra shoving after the fact, too. Cohen Webb that time, angling it, and kind of came up a little chunky that time on the kickoff.
That happened right in front of head coach Brandon Thompson, who's talking things over with his team. I thought I couldn't tell initially whether or not the play was still in bounds when the hit was made. As you know, you always get concerned about a personal foul or some late hit along the boundary there. But it's going to be 1st down from the 36-yard line for Olympic.
Thompson, head coach for the undefeated Trojans. Previous college experience, especially up in the Tidewater region, the 757, Hampton University, among some other stops before he made his way here to Olympic and battling through some adversity on and off last season and just kind of keeping it going here in 2022. During the North Carolina high school football season, Deer Park, 100% natural spring water, honoring one team from each classification with the Deer Park Fueled by Nature Team of the Week Award. Teams selected throughout the season, they're eligible to win the Fueled by Nature Team of the Year Award. For more information and to nominate your team today, scan that QR code. It's on your screen right now. We're coming back after this. It's the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina.
I've always been a pretty good tennis player, but over the years, my knees may have slowed my game a bit. I don't think anybody notices. Out! 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 Out!
Helen, seriously?
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Let's take a breather.
We're back here at Olympic High School in South Charlotte. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, our entire team has reached week 5 of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina here on the NFHS Network. And for Olympic, Armand, one of the biggest stories continues to be the defense. We've already seen it pay dividends here early on with the interception earlier in the quarter, led to eventually a touchdown as you check out some of the fans who have gathered in for homecoming tonight. But now it's the Trojans again ready to take back over with a pretty good field position to start this next drive.
We'll see what Elijah Holmes has in store this time. We saw that great run he put on there on that 3rd down to pick up the 1st down, which then led to the touchdown by Devin Walker of 44 yards. We'll see what he's bringing to the table this time. Just a superb quarterback. That last time out, by the way, was from South Meck. That's their first. But I just love what Brandon Thompson had to say about his quarterback Corey, can you do that kind of dancing right there?
No, but you know what? It's a good exercise move for me. I'll do whatever I need to do to come back thinner next year. So I can take some tips from that, actually. You know what? The way I look at it, any way you're going to move your body, that gets the heart rate going. Speaking of getting the heart rate going, here's a good run to start for Devin Walker, who's probably still palpitating a bit from that last touchdown run. Second down as he cruises to about the 43-yard line.
You remember what Brandon Thompson had to say about Devin? He said he loves contact. Give it to me. Reese is the home run guy. Reese Graham, he's the home run guy. But when you want power and when you want a collision, when you want some thunder, when you want some crashing and some booming and some bamming, you give the ball to Devin Walker.
We get close to Halloween here in the next couple weeks. Crash, thunder, things that go bump in the night.
Onomatopoeia, right?
Onomatopoeia, right, exactly. Second down, ball here just past the 40. Mark it at the 42-yard line. Dropping back goes Holmes, but Holmes is sacked. And South Mecklenburg brought the pressure, and they got him. And the one who brought him down was Junior Impiana.
He sure did. They bring 3 on the line, and then Piana comes in after the fact, after the initial rush, and blows that play up. Good job there by South Meck of mixing it up a little bit defensively, giving a different look there, and that results in a nice takedown of Holmes.
That's right, the M is silent in Junior Piana, though nothing silent about that sack. Third down, Holmes drops back, fires, incomplete. That'll bring up fourth down. As Holmes was looking and came up just short of his intended target, D'Angelo Hall, the tight end.
Ortho Carolina instant replay is going to show it to us just a bit low, and Hall looked like he dropped it towards the end of the play. But once again, another nice stop by South Meck, and Joe Evans told us, even though they were blown out by Andre Kell, he said our defense didn't play that poorly, right? We slowed Andre Kell down in some spots, and so maybe they're riding that momentum into this ball game here, and so far, not too bad.
I mean, if anybody has seen Audrey Kell this season knows how great their defense is. That was our first broadcast of the season at Audrey Kell High School, and that's been a buzzsaw. We've got a flag here before the punt from Olympic. Could be delay a game, could be something else. Jared Goals is ready to punt.
They walked it back 5.
Likely delay a game there, 5-yard penalty to send Goals back as he'll kick and punt this away. Takes a bounce at the 40 to the 35 and covered up maybe the 31-yard line on special teams. Elijah Holmes coming in. So that'll quiet things down, and here comes South Mecklenburg, who got a sack to almost answer that interception from earlier. One big defensive play apiece here so far through the first quarter.
Yes, South Meck has gotten a break or two here in this first quarter. And if you are Joe Evans, you're not feeling too bad about where things are right now. Once again, Rhys Miller, he throws the interception, but you got to move on from that, right?
Yeah.
You got to erase that from your mind. You got to wash that away and focus on the task at hand. Now let's see if they can establish the run here, put together a nice long drive, get some good push up front.
Hand off to Cash Hunter. Hunter is driven back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Too many to count that time for Olympic, who brought him down. One of those was Jairon Tossi, but about 4 or 5 dragged him back.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. They're trying so hard to stay away from Nairn, but he's got a bunch of help here, and they come in and finishing that playoff, as you mentioned, was Tosi. And man, the hair is what I love. That hair coming through the helmet, it's a sight to see.
Palomalu-esque.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. Second down, incomplete as Rhys Miller overthrows Martin Garland. And it's third down.
Garland, their freshman tight end, and with a lot of the talent that South Meck and Joe Evans lost offensively and defensively, they're playing some younger players. They brought a blitz that time, though did Olympic coming from the edge. Not a bad decision by Rhys Miller, but that pass was far too high.
Coach Joe Evans for South Mecklenburg, talking about Rissmiller, has done a phenomenal job, but they are keeping that game plan simple, although they're starting to get more confidence in Rissmiller that during the Audrey Kell game, Evans actually got on him a few times for trying to make a couple of more correct plays. So the kind of the litmus test is starting to become a factor, but that is a good pass for a first down from Rissmiller, who bounces back after the incomplete pass, and the chains will move here for the Sabres as Michael Nesbitt catches it.
North Carolina instant replay, a really nice job here of reading the coverage. Really good throw, good route run right there. And Nesbitt is a dependable guy, and sure enough, he picks up the first down. But I like what Rissmiller did there. He read the coverage really well, made the right play to pick up the first down.
Cam Reese was a dual threat QB for this South Mecklenburg team before the ACL injury, which he had against Cuthbertson. But even though Rissmiller is kind of a pocket guy, he does have some mobility out of that pocket, maybe something to watch for once things kind of get down into the red zone. This one caught far side, maybe a gain of about 2-3 yards that time to set up second down.
We talked with Joe Evans, and I asked him, I said, what should we look for from your team offensively? Screens, two-back, shotgun, empty set, bunch, shift, motion. You know what he said? Yes. To everything. We're going to throw as much as we can at this defense, give them as many different looks as possible, try to gain the upper hand.
Yeah, incontrovertible answer, yes. 47 seconds and counting. First quarter, 7-3 here. Olympic leading South Mecklenburg. Here goes Cash Hunter, who kind of did an end around there, trying to find his way back. And he's quieted. It'll be third down as Hunter did all he could. Couldn't find room to his left, so he scurried back to his right. He did well not to lose 4, 5, 6 yards on the play.
I'll tell you what, though, Cordray is getting the penetration. Number 31 in red. He is getting home. And if he keeps that up, eventually he's going to make a big play in this ball game. But he is getting into the backfield for this Olympic defense. There he is right there.
3rd and 6. 7 seconds to play here, first quarter. Time, if South Mecklenburg wants to get a playoff, they will. Rissmiller, pressure immediately, throws it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jaron Tosi, and that's interception number 2 of the night for Olympic. They're up to their lucky 13 on the season. Picking off Rissmiller is Tosi.
North Carolina instant replay. Did you see how Nairn came in? That play is the Nairn play. That's the elite Nairn play. He set that up with the pressure, and that quick pass was made there, and no man's land. Not the kind of play you want Rissmiller to make, but it's the pressure from Nairn that forces the rush throw and the interception.
Well, he was there immediately and hurried from almost exactly when the snap happened. Rissmiller just had no time, and then was picked off for the second time at the end of quarter number 1. It's 7-3 Olympic over South Mecklenburg, and it will be Trojans football here to start quarter number 2. Back after this here on the NFHS Network.
Always been a pretty good tennis player, but over the years, my knees may have slowed my game a bit. I don't think anybody notices. Out! 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 Out!
Helen, seriously?
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Let's take a breather.
No matter if you're an injury-prone weekend warrior or parent of a child needing orthopedic care, when things look bad, choose better. Ortho Carolina, 40 locations where you will receive the absolute highest level of orthopedic care possible. Ortho Carolina, a better choice. Ortho Carolina, proud to serve as the official orthopedic care provider of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series. Quarter number 2 here from Olympic High School in South Charlotte. 7-3 Trojans over the Sabres. Sabres pick number 2 of the night for the Olympic secondary a couple moments ago, and so the Trojans have the football back. Here's a running play to start. Up the middle for a couple on the handoff. Second down here as the drive will start inside of South Mecklenburg territory as sides flip.
I love watching the offensive line play. I believe it was number 77 Lucas Carranza. Here's the thing about the offensive line, right? It's just, all right, can I stand up? Can I put my hands out and shove you back? And that's exactly what Carranza did on that first down play.
Walker had the last carry. Here's a quick out that's caught by Sterling Green, and Green just past the 40, and South Mecklenburg meets him there. Third down.
Well, Sterling Green, one of their just truly outstanding weapons, and Brandon Thompson said, hey, he is going to finish with 1,000 yards receiving by the time this season is over. He's well on his way.
Came in 7.57 on 40 catches and 8 touchdowns. Sterling Green. Third down, 3rd and 5. This is almost exactly the same situation as the last time following an Olympic pick. Handoff here to the running back, Devin Walker. It was 3rd and 5 on that last interception. On the first time it happened, Olympic picked it up. Walker is through and past the yard to gain marker, kind of mixing it up over there with the couple of South Mecklenburg defenders. Looked like, though, he was short of the first down, probably by a couple yards. 4th down.
Devin is determined to not go down. They're going to mark him short here, but I believe you run that 3rd down because you know you're going for it on 4th down. Ortho Carolina instant replay. This is just determination. Boom. Initial contact 1. I'm grabbed by a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, and he stays on his feet.
Whole Thanksgiving table. Walker is the back. Gets it. Walker needs 2 yards. He's got those in the bag, and that's a 1st down for the Trojans. And Devin Walker is still going, and he's inside what looks like the 5-yard line, trying to reach for the goal line. Came up a couple yards short, but big play number 2 of the night for Devin Walker for Olympic.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. He slithers, makes himself low, and then finds the outside. Oh, what a shed of a tackle right there by Devin Walker. This is such a physical runner. A joy to watch him take on defenders and power his way towards the 1st down.
He's got 12 touchdowns on the season rushing, and Walker on the precipice, as they say, of maybe a 13th. Walker bouncing. Looks like he's maybe 2 or so yards short of the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal here for Olympic.
That was Benji Tidwell on that last play that he took on there. One of their better defenders on this South Meck defense. But Devin Walker, you know, I think I figured it out. I think he wants to be the Ortho Carolina player of the game. I think that's already in his mind.
Smart young man. Mm-hmm. He'll get multiple shout-outs from you later on. It's what you want. Handoff. Devin Walker. Walker initially had some good forward progress. Then South Mecklenburg shoved him back. It'll be 3rd and goal. Walker just keeps on putting his nose out there. He's about 2 yards short here.
Good job by number 31, Jack Williams. He held on for dear life. The junior linebacker says, I'm going to grab you, and I am not going to let you go. You're going to have to give me a whole lot more than that if you want to score that touchdown.
Walker came in 31 carries clear of the 2nd most on the season. That's Reese Graham that you mentioned earlier, Armand. So certainly Walker is the dominant back, and he's going to get 3 straight touches inside of the green zone, as they call it, inside the 10-yard line. And now it'll be Walker to shift over to the left hip of Holmes. He'll get it here, finding some extra space. Now he tries to get physical, and he's right at the goal line, but pushed back. 4th and goal.
And I believe that was number 50, Alex Jones, who stood him up and drove him back. Ortho Carolina instant replay. There it is. Great stand by Jones as those legs of Walker keep churning. Jones stands him up and forces him back.
That's the guy right there, talked about probably more than any other defender. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line here for Olympic. It'll be a direct snap. In fact, they'll give it to the up back for the touchdown. And Olympic has the score, and putting 6 more points on the board, as that was D'Angelo Hall, maybe the tight end that time.
It sure was. It was D'Angelo Hall. Watch him look. And the quarterback, I love that. Holmes sells it. He sells it. And then D'Angelo Hall just powers through. And when all is said and done, he's still left standing at the end.
How about Hall? Got in there, just rooted ahead for the touchdown.
That's what 6'2", 185 pounds and some grit will get you.
Third rushing touchdown of the season, and he's kind of moved his way up to the line of scrimmage. And yeah, you said it, Armand. Elijah Holmes still looking at the sideline, and Hall went ahead and did it all. He sold that pretty well and just kind of caught South Mecklenburg by surprise on 4th and goal, which could have been a turning point here if the Sabres had been able to get a stop. It's 13-3. Here comes the extra point.
I love the confidence, too, in your team, right? We're going for this.
Yeah,
we can do this.
Jared Goals will get ready for the extra point. Solomon Ford will hold. Goals has it through the goal post. 14-3. Olympic over South Mecklenburg as the tight end, D'Angelo Hall, took it on a nice little trickery type play when he got up close to the line of scrimmage and then went ahead and surged right ahead, and that's the way you convert on 4th and goal when space and room to run and maneuver is kind of at a premium. And here we go again, a touchdown that's spurned on following an Olympic interception, and everyone decked out tonight looking their best on homecoming night. And it's Olympic up here 14-3, thrilling this crowd that's been hyped since the very beginning. The goals now to kick off, and kind of have to keep an eye on Brock Rissmiller now for South Mecklenburg to see if he can settle down a bit and keep his Sabres in this game. And that secondary of Olympic continuing to just back up what head coach Brandon Thompson said to us yesterday, Armand, about how if you want multiple interceptions, come play for this team. And you could tell he was confident about it. He even said to us too, he knows his team is confident when they're hyping up practice plays about what they did in practice, not what they're doing on game day. They're in the halls talking about how you beat me at practice last week. I'll get you next week. Talk about buying in.
What did he say? He said, our practices be lit. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And I believe him.
Me too. Talk about a practice you want to come out and see during the week. If you're here in the South Charlotte area, pay a visit on your lunch break and come down and check out the Trojans. Goals kicks it to about the 20-yard line. The return goes out of bounds far side on the pickup by Michael Nesbitt. Didn't quite have the return he had on the last try on special teams, and he goes out and looks like maybe about the 35-yard line or thereabouts with under 7.5 to go in the second quarter. And not really the most critical time of the game here coming up for South Mecklenburg, but all eyes on Rissmiller here.
2 interceptions for him. We talked in the Ortho Carolina Keys to the Game about making Brock uncomfortable, and so far that's exactly what Olympic has done.
That's right. Exactly. Homecoming court right there. Checking out some of the fashionable MVPs tonight in the stands. And meanwhile, back to those on the field as the Sabres start off this next drive with a running play that got maybe a yard or two from Bolden that time, the running back, Xavier Bolden Jr., second down.
Second time we've had a homecoming game. Charlotte Catholic versus Providence was a homecoming game.
That's right.
Super early homecoming game, too.
Yeah. Really early. Kind of feel like October is your homecoming time. Handoff here. Is it Bolden again who takes it? If it is, and it is confirmed, it is Xavier Bolden Jr. Back-to-back running plays. It'll be third down here, 3rd and 9 for South Mecklenburg.
You need some boldness when you take on number 50, Tavares Boone, who made that tackle just now. He's had an active first half.
Now trying to avoid a 3 and out. Running backs praised by this coaching staff for South Mecklenburg, pass protection, and also kind of helping out Rissmiller. Will have to drop back and pass here, and does well and gets it away, and this will be a first down. Yards after the catch as well for Ladarian Lynch, and Lynch is still up. Look at him power his way to the 25-yard line, and that's all that yak they talk about. Lynch, a blur.
Ladarian Lynch, receiver and defensive back. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Protection's pretty good here. And once again, it's a zone coverage, but a really nice job by the quarterback, Rissmiller, on that throw, reading the coverage well. And then after that, it's all on the receiver, Ladarian Lynch, who makes his first catch and does it in dazzling fashion with a lot of running after the catch. Got hit late, actually, out of bounds. They did not throw the flag, but a great effort after that catch by Ladarian Lynch.
Lynch, head coach Joe Evans talked about how he can make electric plays in the receiving game, and he certainly did there. Now back to the ground for the Sabres. Again, looks like Bolden will take it. He will. Xavier Bolden Jr., the junior himself, running back. Second down after that big pass play.
But back to Lynch, that's exactly what head coach Joe Evans said. He's a playmaker and electric after the catch.
Right.
And he was able to identify the strengths of each of his receivers, and some have strengths that others don't have, but he underlined the ability of Lynch to make the great plays after the catch.
Second down, handoff again to Bolden Jr., who goes nowhere. Olympic bringing the pressure with Tavarius Boone. There's that guy again, Armand.
Yep, but on that play, I want to highlight Ortho Carolina instant replay. Jermont Duncan, hello, boom. The initial hit there, slowing him down. He comes like a thief in the night. And then, of course, Mr. Boone is going to make sure you don't get any farther.
A little early for the service. Third down, ball at the 25-yard line, and this is a sack. Rissmiller goes down. Trojans brought the pressure. Elliott Nairn. Who else?
You know who it was. Mr. Nairn on his way to Liberty. Ortho Carolina instant replay, and good luck. He just burst through that block, and the offensive lineman even knew it. He said, oh, man, I think that was Charles Carr, the sophomore offensive lineman, number 76. He clapped his hands as if to say, I missed him. Quarterback's going to have to eat that one. And sure enough, Elite Nairn made the play.
Yeah, came in there and got the pressure on Rissmiller. Now starting to see everything click defensively here for Olympic, and the guy with one of the best names in football, Elite Nairn, that time spelled E-L-I-Y-T, coming in with the pressure on Rissmiller. It's fourth down with under 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. We're back after this. It's the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina on the NFHS Network.
In high school, Daddy was the man. Fastball, wicked changeup, and a nasty 12-6 curveball.
Is that what you just threw me?
Yeah. I think I broke my shoulder with it.
I think I broke the neighbor's window with it. I'll go get Mom.
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Should have gone high and tight.
Adrenaline from the game-winning play is great until it wears off. Introducing the Ortho Carolina High School Sports Injury Clinic. Each Saturday during the high school football season, athletes injured during Friday night action can walk in between the hours of 10 a.m. and noon and receive care from an Ortho Carolina sports surgeon. The clinic is located at the Ortho Carolina Ballantine Urgent Care right here in Charlotte. For more information, orthocarolina.com. Rissmiller lost the football, and this is a play on fourth down. It's a fumble recovered by Olympic, a turnover on downs as well. So kind of double pain that time as the Trojans got to the football. Boone was in there, and Olympic has it back.
Ortho Carolina instant replay, and for the first time we get to say good evening to Cliff Richardson, the 6 foot, 265-pound senior defensive lineman. We get to say hello, but I'm pretty sure that Brock Rissmiller would not want to say hello to him.
Checking out the homecoming kings and queens there, making their way around the track, and we'll see them at halftime coming up as well. Some special stuff for homecoming. You'll get to see it live here on the NFHS Network. Incomplete, just barely. Target was Solomon Ford. Elijah Holmes rolled and kept his eyes downfield, as they say, but incomplete to Ford, second down.
Solomon has been around the game quite a while. His oldest brother is at New Mexico, right tackle. Older brothers are freshmen at Fayetteville State. And Solomon's been around the game quite a bit. As a matter of fact, Solomon's dad is the D-line coach on the Olympic staff.
Good places to play there, especially this part of the state of North Carolina, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. Fayetteville State continuing to be so good in the CIAA. Well, this is a big loss in the backfield as down goes Walker, and the pressure came from Alex Jones again to take out the run.
North Carolina instant replay. Here comes Alex Jones. He just sheds his man and comes in basically untouched. And what did head coach say about him? He said the best defensive lineman on this team, if not the best defensive player. Joe Evans says Alex does everything he's asked and is physical at the point of attack.
Look at that too, especially with who he, when it comes to the coaches as well. He kind of gets up there and he makes a mistake. Joe Evans talking about Alex Jones. If he makes a mistake, he listens to his coach and learns from it. Incomplete. Holmes looking for his wide out, Sterling Green. And it is 4th down. It's arrived on the other side for Olympic here. 2:51 to play, second quarter.
The stop though by South Meck, and by this time last week, Olympic was up 50, had 56 points by halftime, if I'm not mistaken there. Now, far cry from that tonight. This South Meck defense has made some plays. They just got to get Brock to settle down. They got to get some help from the offensive line. Joe Evans certainly wants it. You're looking at him right there. Get some help from this offensive line. Give Brock a little bit of time. Keep the run game established as well. You have time to do that also.
Olympic scored at least 29 points in every game that they've won so far this season. So yeah, the defense is coming to play, although special teams will make a play here and down this one at about the 6-yard line. Look at him wave at it, trying to get another yard or two, but fantastic special teams work. Great kick as well that time, and eventually kind of sullied down by Holmes and company. And long field coming up here for South Mecklenburg.
Take a look at the homecoming court, as they say. Decked out. Did you ever run for homecoming?
I did not. My high school kind of honors, if you will. It's funny. I didn't go to prom.
You didn't go to prom?
Didn't go to prom, but I did get perfect attendance from my PE teacher. I'd wear a sweater to gym class, sometimes to get out of doing some things. But I got perfect attendance. Did not miss a day ever of middle school. I think I only missed like 2 of high school, but no prom. So maybe that negates all that, all those accomplishments. Here's a running play for South Mecklenburg. 2nd down coming up. Looks like Bolden again.
Perfect attendance is not cool. Okay?
I know.
It's like going to the dentist, and instead of getting a lollipop, you get like a big red cinnamon thing,
floss.
or a floss.
Right, floss.
Who wants to go to the dentist and get floss? That's what that's like right there.
That's a good point. A player down here for South Mecklenburg. The first unfortunate injury pause of the first half. Joe Evans and company out there, the training staff as well. One of the first ones to get to him. Evans is right there above that injured Saber. And that leads right into Ortho Carolina. No matter if you're an injury-prone weekend warrior or a parent of a child needing orthopedic care when things look bad, you can choose better. At any of Ortho Carolina's 40 locations, you will receive the absolute highest level of orthopedic care possible, from your first appointment to your full recovery and all points in between. Ortho Carolina, a better choice. Ortho Carolina, proud to serve as the official orthopedic care provider of the Charlotte High School football rivalry series. Yeah, good look there, Armand. That was Cash Hunter.
Yeah.
And of course, those are, some of the things you miss, with homecoming as well. If you're, unfortunately, if you're not a part of it, but of course, if you are, joking, of course, about not going to prom, those are the things you miss. It's kind of the ultimate expression of what it means to be in high school. It flashes before your eyes, and if you're, as Ferris Bueller said, if you're not careful, it'll pass you by.
This is true.
I'm learning that. Starting to realize what I missed. Should have gotten out of my shell. 3rd down coming up. Now, Cash Hunter was helped out to the sideline. That time it was Bolden who came in to do the running. It'll be 3rd down here, 3rd and 6 to be exact, coming up for South Mecklenburg. Under 2 to play, 2nd.
do want to pinpoint something, though, with Joe Evans there. He's done a great job of just showing his concern and his care for these players. That was one of the things I really was able to take away from our conversation. Really cares about his guys, and it was on display there as he was checking on his running back.
He's big too, Armand, and that's a great point. Big too as well when it comes to his head coaches and his assistant coaches as well. The same defensive coordinator, same offensive line coach, talking about Joe Evans and South Mecklenburg. And again, this is a guy in the form of Joe Evans who doesn't mince words. We figured that out pretty early on. Not someone who's negative, but someone who just tells you exactly how it is, which is refreshing so much. And he said this, if my coaches aren't good for kids, they're not going to be on his staff. They care for the kids, and you saw it. You're exactly right.
Yep. There are 3 things he said, because I asked him about changing the culture, and he did. First 2 years, this is his 4th year, also Brandon Thompson's 4th year on the other side for Olympic. First 2 years, they had 5 wins combined. Previous 2 years, prior to this year, 13 wins. And I asked him, I said, how did you do it? He said 3 things. You got good kids, good coaches, and good support. That's a pretty good recipe.
It is. That's the perfect trio. If you're mixing it up in a bowl there, kind of creates a good dish to serve out. And sometimes it'll equal some wins as well for a team that was 0-11 a couple seasons ago and had a 9-win campaign last season. Lost a lot of those starters on both sides and kind of feeling their way out. But so far, holding Olympic here. So if things stay as they are, could be a season low in terms of points for the Trojans. So shout out here, at least in the late stages of the first half, to the South Mecklenburg defense. Rissmiller with a quick out and finds his target. That is Tyquez Mallet. Looks like he was maybe a bit short, 4th down.
That's the speed there, though, on display from Mallet.
He got it.
Yeah, he got the first down. Ortho Carolina instant. He just turns it on here as he bounces to the outside. And he was pushed out of bounds there, I believe, by Chris Providence, the senior defensive back. And that's going to be enough for the first down. That's why you want to get a guy like Tyquez Mallet the ball. You can tell. I love what Coach Joe Evans said about him. He says he's like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's the first Ferrari reference we've gotten all season long.
Yeah, he kind of measured his words. He's kind of like a little Ferrari. Yeah. Rissmiller dropped the football and just had to fall on it. The heat was coming from you-know-who to Various Boone, and it's 2nd down.
Smart decision there by Brock. Ortho Carolina instant replay, and he just tries to pull back too early, looks like, as they were trying to set up maybe an RPO look. He does a smart job of just falling on the ball there and living to play another down.
It's all kind of learning on the fly for Rissmiller. Again, the converted tight end, now the quarterback just trying to figure things out. Kind of got a sideways delivery of the football that time. Is that incomplete? Okay, thought initially maybe it was another pick, but incomplete. Rissmiller, kind of the snap, kind of got slung out there a little sideways, so he was under a little bit of pressure from the get-go again.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. Once again, you're right about that snap, Corey. Got away from him a bit. And what did Brandon Thompson tell us? He said the most important thing on our defensive line, you've got to play your hands well. Use your hands, and on that play, they got the knockdown.
It'll be 3rd and long now. 3rd and 14. The yard to gain is the 28-yard line. Snapped here at the 14. 3rd and long. Rissmiller rolling, firing, incomplete. And he was looking for Ladarian Lynch, who had that nice catch and run earlier, but it's 4th down, and South Mecklenburg will punt.
Like what I saw there from Solomon Ford, number 15, wide receiver and defensive back. He came flowing to the ball there. And as Olympic gets that stop and forces the 4th down, and now Olympic, you've got all your timeouts, and this is an opportunity here for Olympic to maybe snag a few more points, at least 3. Olympic got the ball to start, so South Meck's going to get the ball to start the 2nd half, and this would be a big opportunity for Olympic with good field position to put some more points on the board before the break.
Trojans ready to return, and they will from about the 45-yard line. On the return comes Sterling Green. Green is still up, and Green is at the 5-yard line, takes it back for a return of about 40 yards that time and almost went the distance, but it'll be 1st and goal coming up, to your point, Armand.
Yeah, Ortho Carolina instant replay. He's super fast, man. super fast, finds a hole, slithers through, cuts left, cuts right, and gets a 1st and goal for Olympic down at the 6-yard line. He actually hit his own man. Had he not run into Devin Evans, the tight end and linebacker, he may have scored the 42-yard touchdown.
Yeah, good stuff from our friends in the truck, Jay Bell and company, picking up that. Exactly right. That may have prevented the touchdown, but here we go. Sterling Green in the backfield switches over to the right of his quarterback, Elijah Holmes. 1st and goal from the 5. Passing play. Is it caught for the touchdown? It is. Holmes looked and got the slant play to pay off for touchdown number 3 of the night for
Solomon Ford, I believe, brought that in on the Ortho Carolina instant replay. Good inside route. He was defended, looked like by Ladarian Lynch, if I saw that number correctly, but he brings that one in to pick up the score, and boy, did Olympic score quickly there after that stop.
Extra point now following the Ford touchdown from goals is good. 21-3. Solomon Ford got it on the slant in the end zone, and for Ford, his 1st receiving touchdown of the season. And again, we're seeing the tools and the gifts of Elijah Holmes, who is finding his targets when he needs it. And that's, as you said, Armand, just a quick sequence of plays. First of all, a great return by Green, and then you go one play later and punctuate it, and it's 21-3 here, and it's happened so quickly. Still 57 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, and South Mecklenburg, some decisions to make here on how they play the ball here with under a minute to go in the 2nd.
I'll say this though, for Solomon, it'd be pretty cool if they're doing the electric slide here. See, the electric slide, I'll come back to Solomon later, but the electric slide is one of those dances that goes with a whole lot of songs.
Yes.
And it's one of the rare songs that is its own dance, but that you can also apply to other songs. Because I'll do the electric slide to pretty much anything.
Anything.
Now, can you do the electric slide is the question.
Before I let go, I could do it to that. It's both versions.
I think that's Beyonce's version
that
that's
is
playing.
Yeah,
that's not the best version.
Yeah.
Oh, did he really say that?
Yeah, oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
You know what? Someone had to say it.
It's true, too. And you don't have to agree with me.
Yeah, exactly. Here comes a return for South Mecklenburg. And back out there, good to see, is Cash Hunter, who took it out that time, got to the 45-yard line. Remember, Hunter was the injured Sabre from just a bit earlier. He's back out. Pretty good return, jetted up the middle there. And here come the Sabres, 51 ticks left in the 2nd, and they'll start from 5 yards shy of midfield.
Good to see him back out on the field. As you take another look at the homecoming court, and you'll take part. Now the other side, you take a look at the South Meck cheerleaders. They're dancing and getting it down and cutting it up, cutting the step, cutting rug, cutting everything.
It's a great crowd here tonight, and a special shout out to Stephanie Wilkerson, who hooked up my dad with the ticket to the game tonight. He's here, and kind of a family atmosphere, and also just great with helping us earlier in the week, getting up with Coach Thompson. Rhys Miller just got it away, and he was hit hard, and this ball is actually caught. It may actually turn into a 1st down, despite the fact, maybe just short, despite the fact that Rhys Miller just got rocked that time. He did get it away and found his wide receiver, Martin Garland, looked like.
Ortho Carolina instant replay, and I think they threw the flag for the late hit, and they did throw the flag for the late hit, but a great job by Rhys Miller. He keeps the play alive. He buys himself some time because there was nothing there, but Rhys Miller bought himself some time and was able to find Garland, and they also get rewarded with the personal foul penalty, so now they're up close to the 30-yard line, but they have to move quickly here because they do not have any more timeouts.
39 ticks left here in the 2nd. This is a big moment of the game. To try to get a touchdown here. Could be just an 11-point game going into halftime. If not, you're down by a couple scores. Could be a biggest moment of the 1st half for South Mecklenburg. Quick pass caught by Xavier Bolden Jr., who's still up, and Bolden Jr. is past the 10-yard line. Again, Rissmiller under duress, and back-to-back nice tosses.
It was man Cordray coming after him there, breathing down his neck. Ortho Carolina instant replay. This is a great block right there by number 74. That's Achilles Unger, one of their top offensive linemen, to help that play move down the sideline for the first down.
First down, a stop of the clock, so that'll help out things here for South Mecklenburg, awarding those first downs. Rissmiller. Ball snap from the 5-yard line. This is a little shovel ahead to Bolden, who gets taken down in a crowd. Clock will run here, under 20 seconds to go. South Mecklenburg may not have time to get another one off. Again in there was Boone, 15 seconds left.
There was a pause in the action. So South Meck had a timeout left. Ortho Carolina instant replay. I was pretty confused by the play call, but South Meck did have a timeout left, so this has to be their last. But there was no way you would run a run play in that situation with 25 seconds left in the first half unless you had a timeout. South Meck did have that timeout, so that'll be their final timeout now, and I think Olympic called a timeout earlier, so they should have 2 remaining in the final 15.8 here in the first half.
So South Mecklenburg moving the ball efficiently, aided by a penalty on this drive, but 2 nice passing plays from Rissmiller, who's been intercepted twice tonight by Olympic. It looks like he's starting to find some rhythm here. Ball at the 6-yard line. It'll be second down, second and goal here from the 6 for South Mecklenburg.
For Nesbitt and Mallet for South Meck.
Cash Hunter, the back. Rissmiller tosses it, end zone, touchdown, and that's Martin Garland in the end zone, reaches up, pulls it in, and just like that, South Mecklenburg, this is a 21-9 ball game with 10 seconds left before halftime.
How about this call, though? Ortho Carolina instant replay, the sort of jump pass and great extension there by the freshman. That's Martin Garland making an impact as he gets the touchdown for South Meck, but don't forget, it was set up by that personal foul penalty on the play where Brock Rissmiller keeps the play alive and ends up being hit for the late hit.
So now here the Sabres setting up for the extra point coming from Ben Loughran to make this 21-10. Loughran does just that, and it's an 11-point ball game here. We've seen Olympic strike quick here tonight. They did it after that last play and got down there, scored a quick touchdown, and almost as soon as we saw the forward touchdown for Olympic, we see Garland with the touchdown, and suddenly Brock Rissmiller looks like he's just completely put those 2 interceptions to bed.
Looked like Tim Tebow on that last play, but how about this? Don't forget, South Meck gets the ball to start the second half here. Only 10 seconds left. It's hard to see unless there's a crazy kick return. Goodness knows we've seen enough of those this season on the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina. We've seen enough of them, but unless something crazy happens here, South Meck is going to go into the halftime break down just 11 and with some momentum. That's what happens when you get a break, and when you get those breaks, you have to capitalize. When you get those breaks, you have to capitalize. And on that play and on that possession, South Meck did exactly that.
One of the most notable quotes that we got from Joe Evans yesterday was, we asked him about matching up tonight with Olympic. He said, we're just happy to share the field with them. They're not just sharing the field tonight. They're hanging with an undefeated Olympic team. Now, granted, 10 seconds left here as the fans continue to get into it here on homecoming night. See what happens here. This is when special teams and the guys downfield come in handy, as the Trojans will field it from the 10-yard line. Some juking and jiving here on the return by the Trojans. That was Chris Providence who took it out and got to the 30-yard line. 3 seconds left, second quarter. Rolling that time, and 3 seconds left after the return by Providence. So here come the Trojans now. Do you go ahead and just take this to the locker room? Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. Go into the locker room break, up 11, have the lead. I'm curious what Brandon Thompson's message is to his team, because South Meck's defense has not played poorly. Devin Walker's had a good first half, that 44-yard touchdown run, but South Meck has made some key stops when they've needed to in this ball game. Give their defense a lot of credit. That really impressed me, the fact that they've been able to slow this Olympic team down with Elijah Holmes coming up on 2,000 yards, no interceptions coming into this game. But South Meck's done a really nice job, and this 11-point lead is a nice spot for South Meck to be at as we go into the halftime break.
Holmes takes the knee there, and Olympic will take it to the locker room, up 21-10 by that late touchdown by South Mecklenburg. It's an 11-point lead here at halftime, and homecoming festivities not too long in the offing. And quickly before we go to break, Armand Brody, this is a game that has changed quite a bit. And again, Ortho Carolina, when it comes to orthopedic care, choose better by choosing Ortho Carolina. Over 40 locations throughout the Carolinas. You're never far from one of the nation's leading providers of care for joints, muscles, other orthopedic injuries. When things look bad, it's important to know that you have a choice, but there's only one better choice, and that's Ortho Carolina. Ortho Carolina, proud to serve as the official orthopedic care provider of the Charlotte High School football rivalry series. Very quickly, Armand, this has turned into a good game, 11-point game here at halftime. I know we'll have more later on, but this is good. An Olympic team 7-0, tested a bit here at intermission. And a great job by Riskmiller. He throws the 2 picks, right? Yeah. We've talked about it, and the question was, how will he respond? Will they get the break with the late hit? But Riskmiller has done a nice job the last couple of possessions of staying with it, hanging tough, keeping plays alive, improvising and ad-libbing, and that penalty set things up, the late hit. They've gotten some breaks, have South Meck, and their defense has played pretty well as well. A lot to be proud of in this first half of the Sabres. Absolutely. 21-10, Olympic over South Mecklenburg. It's a Charlotte High School football rivalry series powered by Ortho Carolina. Homecoming festivities, here they come. We'll have them for you here on the NFHS Network. It's halftime from South Charlotte.
I've always been a pretty good tennis player, but over the years, my knees may have slowed my game a bit. Out! Out! Out!
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
We are at halftime of the Charlotte High School football rivalry series. It's all powered by Ortho Carolina. It's another installment this week, and as always, we take time during the halftime, during the intermission, to catch up with the fine folks at Ortho Carolina. And today we've got Dr. Brian Saltzman with us. And Doc, I want to ask, when you think about the mission of Ortho Carolina and you think about that combination and collaboration with high school sports, why is high school athletics so important to Ortho Carolina?
Yeah, I think at Ortho Carolina, we're pretty well ingrained here in the world of local sports, and that includes our recreational athletes as well as high school, collegiate, and up through the professionals. And so it's a big part of what we do here, and it's a big part of our community that we're pretty excited to be a part of, from in the office to on the sidelines.
There are a lot of folks who, after this interview, are probably going to rush to their computer. They're going to look you up online, and they're going to see that you're an orthopedic surgeon that's specializing in adolescent and adult sports science. When you are out there practicing and you think about the entire continuum of what football athletes go through from injury to recovery, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think our football athletes put quite a bit of strain on their bodies, and what we're seeing out on the field is injuries sustained from contact type of injuries, from other players getting hit and hitting them, as well as the non-contact type injuries. So we're seeing strains, we're seeing sprains, we're seeing muscle injuries, tendons, ligaments. And so there's quite a bit of stress that they're putting on their bodies, and we're seeing injuries all throughout the body as a result of that, kind of through the non-operative all the way through the operative sector of things.
When we think about our knees, when we think about our hips, those are obviously critical components of the body when it comes to a high school student athlete, especially in football. That care for those lower extremities, you've seen a lot, you've created some best practices. What are you seeing as being the total care when it comes to the total body.
Yeah, I think something we're unique with here at Ortho Carolina is how subspecialized we've become, and how valuable some of our different assets are in our practice. And so, we've got individuals who are specializing from the toe all the way up through the hip in the lower extremity. And that gives us a chance to be really refined at what we're doing. And that includes us as the MDs, as well as our physician's assistants, our athletic trainers, our physical therapists, our nurses, our nurse practitioners. We're all part of this big team, really trying to get people better. And when we've got such good specialization in these parts, to be able to take as good of care as possible as we can.
That's a really good dovetail. We all like the underdog. We all like the comeback story. When you think about your time at Ortho Carolina, caring for these high school athletes, have you got a favorite comeback story that either warms your heart or maybe in a quiet moment of your day reflect and go, that's pretty cool?
I think for me, it often comes down to the ACL, which is something that I take care of frequently. And it's the reason why is it's a pretty, technically important procedure that we spend a short time doing, and then is a huge relationship builder with a patient, with an athlete, because it's months and months of rehabilitation as part of our care team and seeing that individual getting back to their sport. And so it becomes this huge relationship that's built. And so it's pretty fun to watch our athletes with that particular injury take from that really difficult discussion of, you tore your ACL and we're going to have to fix that problem, to missing a whole season and getting back to something. And I've had some rewarding experience seeing some of those athletes get back and then get back from the high school to the next level of something that's really passionate for them.
Last question before we let you go, and it's really just come to mind as you answer that. 20 years ago, you didn't hear a lot about the ACL. It's probably an injury that happened a lot, but ACL seems to be a little bit more, pardon the pun, under the microscope. It feels a little bit more common in today's dialogue. Why is that switch in the last 20 years from going from really not hearing about ACL to almost unfortunately hearing it at every turn?
Yeah, I mean, that alludes to why it's such a common injury these days, especially in our young athletes specializing in these high contact sports. And so we're seeing a lot more of those injuries. We're seeing the impact of those injuries on athletes and the time missed in sport, as well as in non-athletes of the time missed of other types of activities, work and non-work related, recreational and otherwise, where it leads to a lot of healthcare time and dollars and time missed. And so there's a lot of research going on about it. There's a lot of efforts from our standpoint as sports surgeons trying to learn it better and be better at it, and the tiny little minutia and microscopic details of it, like you alluded to. And so I think we're just seeing it a lot more frequently. It's seeing us a lot more frequently, and we're just trying to get better for our patients.
Dr. Brian Saltzman, thanks for being with us during the intermission tonight.
Thanks. I appreciate your time.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got the second half. Again, another installment of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series. It's all powered by Ortho Carolina, and we'll be back right after this.
I've always been a pretty good tennis player, but over the years, my knees may have slowed my game a bit. I don't think anybody notices. Out! 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 Out!
Helen, seriously?
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Let's take a breather.
That D'Angelo Hall, number 10, over there.
high school, Dad, it was the man. Fastball, wicked changeup, and a nasty 12-6 curveball.
Is that what you just threw me?
Yeah. I think I broke my shoulder with it.
I think I broke the neighbor's window with it. I'll go get Mom.
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Should have gone high and tight.
We're back. Halftime festivities wrapping up here at Olympic High School in South Charlotte. Dave Johnson Stadium, the spot tonight. 21-10 is the edge for Olympic over South Mecklenburg. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, our entire team back here with you and ready to go. And this is an 11-point game, Armand, and suddenly with that late touchdown, late in the second quarter, South Mecklenburg changing the complexion of this game quite a bit. And now we get set to see the Sabres also put themselves in the position to get the second half kickoff and keep their momentum going. So Olympic, what's on the docket for them? They're on pace to give up the most points they have in a game all season long.
Yeah, sort of a weird half, Corey. Frankly, we came into it expecting South Meck to maybe throw some different things at Olympic, a trick play here and a trick play there, and really what we came away with was an impressive performance in spots by South Meck's defense.
Yeah.
I like the tenacity and the response of Brock Rissmiller, who had 2 interceptions in the first half. He threw the first one to Evans, threw the second one to Tosi. But he didn't despair, didn't get discouraged. He came back. They got the benefit, did South Meck. They got the benefit of that personal foul penalty towards the end of the first half when Rissmiller kept the play alive and got hit late. And they used that to get down the field and pick up the touchdown. And so now they find themselves only down 11 in this ball game. And this is a big possession coming out here to start the second half for South Meck. They get the ball to start here. They have an opportunity to really make things interesting here. It's not been a great half either for Olympic offensively. They had Devin Walker pick up the 44-yard touchdown, but we have not seen the kind of electricity from Elijah Holmes that we expected to see in the first half.
Set to see Olympic get the kicking duty started. And again, it's all about trying to carry over that momentum from the late stages of the first half here to the second half for a South Mecklenburg team coming in 3-4. And again, we've talked about the defensive prowess of the Olympic Trojans, up to 13 total interceptions on the season, but Brock Rissmiller really responded well, as you mentioned, Armand, to bounce back with that late touchdown over to Garland with about 10 seconds left in the second quarter. That was maybe a turning point.
I'll say something, too, about Rissmiller and talking about the coaching staff and what they've done here. It's got to be so difficult to see your starting quarterback go down with a torn ACL. Yeah. That's exactly what happened to Cam Reese. But credit to Joe Evans and this staff, and credit to Rissmiller for doing everything that has been asked of him. And that's what Joe Evans told us. He has responded, he's answered the call, and give him credit for really getting this team in a position to keep fighting, keep competing, and they're hanging tough with this Olympic team so far.
They are. I mean, this is a 21-10 game. Olympic homecoming night, and granted, still the lead, but South Mecklenburg has made it interesting as we start the second half, and the kick is away from Jared Goals. Here comes the return, brought out by Ladarian Lynch, and Lynch is past midfield, and he's going to set up his South Mecklenburg Sabres into plus territory on a nice run back. And here comes, just trailing by 11, South Mecklenburg.
We've had some short kickoffs here tonight, and that time Ladarian Lynch picked that thing up from about the 17-yard line, and he took that back about 34 yards. But once again, so another break, another door, another window opens up here now for South Mecklenburg. They've got the ball on the plus side of the field right now with a great opportunity to cut into this lead.
Ball placed at the 49-yard line inside of Olympic territory. Handoff goes to Cash Hunter, the active running back from the first half, who gets the handoff from Brock Rissmiller, and Cash Hunter getting to about the 45-yard line. It'll be second down.
That time they pulled the offensive lineman, Ortho Carolina, instant replay. They pulled Parker Harrington. He's just looking for somebody to block. He comes pulling off from left to right, and he's looking to pick somebody up on that second level. That time they pick up about 4 yards. Got a good gain on first down. Now you get Rissmiller calmed down, get that offensive line to hold up again. You've got a second down immediate.
Gain of 4 that time, so it's 2nd and 6. Rissmiller with Cash Hunter in the backfield. Rissmiller, quick fire, out to the flats. Got maybe about a yard or 2 on it. It'll set up third down. The quick passing play that went to Michael Nesbitt, third down.
A lot of experience on this defense of Olympic. One of the advantages that they felt they had this year, and this is according to Coach Thompson, we bend but we do not break. Yeah. This is their opportunity to prove it right now. Let's see if they bring the blitz. Thompson said we don't blitz much. Let's see if they bring the blitz this time.
Just 3rd and 2 from the 41-yard line. Handoff, Cash Hunter. Hunter gets a late push. Initially he was stopped. Now he surged back. Forward progress, though, may not be enough to pick up the first down for Hunter. More than likely 4th and short here for South Mecklenburg.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. They get an initial push, and he's trying to run off the right side there, and they just continue to fight, and Hunter refusing to go down. He's eventually grabbed and then sent back by number 92, Cliff Richardson, and he's going to end up a wee bit short of that first down, but obviously you have to go for this if you're South Meck. You're so close. It'd be a shame not to go for this and try to pick up the first down.
4th and 1 from the 39-yard line. Handoff goes to Bolden, who easily gets the first down, surges ahead, and a fresh set courtesy of Xavier Bolden Jr. for South Mecklenburg.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. They run a pistol look, and he just slithers his way off the right side. Offensive line has had a few spots in this game where they've really done a nice job, and on that one they give Bolden the space to pick up the first down. I was looking for something a little simpler. That you've got this big tight end, this former tight end, now quarterback, like pound him up the middle on a sneak or something. Right. But Xavier Bolden getting that from the pistol works as well to pick up the first down.
I want to give Rissmiller easy reads, easy throws to make. You've seen a lot of those quick outs so far. Another handoff here to Bolden Jr., who gets maybe a yard before he is stopped by Manuel Cordray II. Yeah, he's still down, Armand. Someone down here, actually. That's not Bolden. That's
Cohen Webb?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, if so.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. Oh, wow. You see a player get rolled up under. That's not Cohen Webb. Trying to get that number. 45 is the number, not 15. It's like his knee there. Tough play. Just got rolled up under. That's Marquise Malzahn, who is down there.
So bended awkwardly, and you see Malzahn there, and obviously visible pain and discomfort, kind of flailing those arms around. He's got the athletic training staff around him as well. When it comes to your orthopedic care, choose better by choosing Ortho Carolina. With over 40 locations throughout the Carolinas, you're never far from one of the nation's leading providers of care for joints, muscles, and other orthopedic injuries. When things look bad, it's important to know you have a choice. But there's only one better choice, Ortho Carolina. Ortho Carolina is proud to serve as the official orthopedic care provider of the Charlotte High School football rivalry series. Again, the festivities of homecoming dampered just a bit there by the injury to Malzahn, who's now off the field. And here comes South Mecklenburg now on second down, ball placed at the 33-yard line.
Noticeable limp, but he did limp off the field. Goodness.
Split backfield now for the first time tonight, although in motion goes Bolden. Dropping back is Rissmiller, who gets it away, but stopped immediately. That's Mallett who got the catch, and he's just driven back to set up third down.
Cliff Richardson, 92. Quentin Talford, 43. They just flow to the ball here on the Ortho Carolina instant replay. They set up the screen, and Olympic has this read so well. Talford comes in, Richardson comes in. Boy, has he been active tonight and just driving the defender back, driving the running back back.
3rd and long, 3rd and 11.
That's how they use Mallet too. They use him as a running back, they use him as a wide receiver, they run him, and they use him in all sorts of scenarios. Just want to get him the ball. The defense still by Olympic.
Rissmiller dropping, got it away, caught, but well short of the first down. Tyquez Mallet, that'll post 4th down here for South Mecklenburg. Field goal from this spot right here would be
50 yards.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
No.
It's 4th and long. You got to go for this, though. I think you got to go. We talked about it in our Ortho Carolina keys to the game.
Yeah.
We talked about taking shots, right? And this is an opportunity. Take a shot here. I think if you're Olympic, you play coverage, you play back here and see if you can confuse Rissmiller with a zone look.
10 on the play clock. Quick out, trying to set up maybe a little screen that time, but nothing comes of it. Nesbitt got it from Rissmiller, turnover on downs, and Olympic has the football back.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do there for South Meck, but on 4th and 9, play ain't going to cut it. Good job by Olympic of reading that play well and flowing and moving towards the football to force that 4th down stop. And now Olympic gets the ball back, but that's what we're talking about. That was a window. That was an opportunity there for South Meck. They got the ball on the plus side of the field at the 49-yard line, and they come up empty, and now Olympic has an opportunity to extend this lead.
So up 21-10, and we saw on turnovers in the first half when South Mecklenburg committed them, whether it was a fumble on 4th down that resulted in Olympic getting the ball back, 2 interceptions from the first half, that the Trojans were pretty quick to take advantage of a turnover on the flip side from South Mecklenburg. So here comes Elijah Holmes, hands it off to his running back, Devin Walker. Walker still up, keeps going. Walker is past the 40-yard line. Looks like on the strength of his offensive line, he'll either come close to or pick up the first down.
What does it take to bring this guy down? Ortho Carolina instant replay. Oop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not aunts and uncles this time. It's moms and dads. But, man, he refuses to go down even after the initial hit is made. His head coach had him read like a book when we spoke with him earlier this week.
Snap from the 41-yard line. Walker, though, a big gain, followed up by a big loss as he was met in the backfield by Tegan Rothenberger. One of the two got him. 2nd down after a loss in the backfield.
Jack Williams, I believe, was in there as well. Number 31, the junior linebacker, who made a tackle or two back in the first half. Great job there by South Meck. They had that play read really well, but I want to go back because, man, did head coach Thompson have he knows his guys, right? Yeah. He knows he's thunder and lightning. Haven't seen a lot of Graham here in this game, but when Devin Walker's playing as well as he's playing, why would you change?
Sure. And Walker, play fake here, quick grab, got up and took it out of the air, and that was to Malachi Morris. And Morris surges past the 50 and has a first down for Olympic.
Oh, can we get a replay of that? I hope we can get another shot. Here it is, Ortho Carolina instant replay. Please watch Lucas Carranza right here. Boom! Took out one of his own guys as well, but man, what a block right there. What a block.
Kind of keyed the remainder of that play. Ball snap now from the 47-yard line here for Olympic. They're inside of South Mecklenburg territory. Holmes hands it off. Devin Walker. Walker, flag comes in. A rarity tonight. We've only had one prior penalty flag. He got a couple, but we'll address the yellow.
Referee officials talk this one over. It is a hold, and it's against Olympic. But I love what Brandon Thompson said about his offensive line. What did he say? As we take another look at the Ortho Carolina instant replay here. Trying to spot the hold, maybe 56 there. It was thrown in the middle of all of that that mass of humanity. But what did Brandon Thompson say? He said, listen, my offensive line, we just love putting guys down. He said they're nasty and they're tenacious. Those two words perfectly describe an offensive line. I want a nasty and tenacious offensive line too.
Yeah, you could tell he got really animated when he talked about that, and just loved, they want to throw people down. They do it in practice, and they're doing it in the games as well. And yeah, he loves that aggressiveness from his guys up front to pave those ways for Devin Walker among others. It's 1st and long here, 1st and 16 after the penalty on the hold. And on the move goes Holmes, who can get mobile when he needs to, and the stats back it up as well, as Holmes on the season rushing with 7 total touchdowns. First time we've really seen him get scurrying.
Ortho Carolina instant replay, and as soon as I brought up in our meeting, we brought up Elijah Holmes. Did you remember the big smile?
Oh yeah,
that stretched across Brandon Thompson's face. Boy, does he love his quarterback, and with good reason when he makes plays like that.
I mean, you talk about the ultimate glowing reception that Holmes has from his head coach Brandon Thompson, although now Olympic is marching back. Is that Holmes gainer going to be negated as well, or at least some of it maybe? The ball placed here at the 45-yard line, although Holmes was out past the 40. But he's so good, and he just came into his own here at Olympic, and Thompson talked about that too, to where he said, this guy, he's got all the reads, he's got like a professional mind. It just, he's out there and continues to amaze his head coach all the time. Another flag comes in here, or at least pauses play for a second.
Referee is sideline warning on South Meck, I believe. That's where he was pointing. Just to get those guys, and Olympic will do the same. Back on up.
So everyone on the respective sidelines takes a couple steps back. It's been a fast-moving third quarter, 4:49 to play in the third.
In addition to all the praise that Thompson gave Elijah about his on-field performance, he also talks about the fact he's got a 4.4 GPA.
Right. Yeah.
He's got everything you need, right? The brains, the intelligence, the running ability, the shortstop and a pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
Reads coverages well, goes through his progressions well. This guy's got it all.
He does, and Thompson is going to live and die by each of his players. He's going to, if he says, you put in the work for me, I'm going to put in the work for you to try to get you into the best situation he can. Holmes here trying to get out of a particularly kind of risky situation there, and gets past the coverage. He had a quick approaching Piana coming on him there. 2nd down, had to scurry again.
Rare 1st and 7. Ortho Carolina instant replay. This is just good coverage downfield. Holmes trying to make something happen, and the Sabres break loose and come together to make the stop.
It's really starting to turn into a slog here in the third. Still 21-10, same halftime score. Olympic has it after the turnover on downs, last possession for South Mecklenburg. Holmes fires, has Sterling Green far side. Green just past the 45-yard line, maybe the 43-yard line, as the drive continues inside of South Meck land.
Good tackle on the edge there by Tyquez Mallet. The thing about high school game, and Joe Evans even told us, he said, look, man, my players, Brandon Thompson said the same thing.
Yeah.
These are guys who you're going to play both sides of the ball in a lot of cases.
Right.
And that's what we've seen tonight for both teams.
Yeah, Evans had a great quote about his wide receivers in particular. Here goes Holmes, and Elijah Holmes getting physical again and close to the 35-yard line. Looks like he may have enough by a yard or two to pick up the first down, and we saw that in the first half, Armand. When Holmes wants to put his head down, he does.
Good things happen. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Good things happen when this guy, Elijah Holmes, takes the ball and barges his way up the middle of the field as he knocks over the linebacker, the junior linebacker, Aaron Roche, number 52. He felt the power of Elijah.
Yeah, right. 195 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns coming into this Friday night for the guy who entered as well with the best quarterback rating in the state of North Carolina, Elijah Holmes. Now Holmes will go deep That is intercepted. Picked off by Tyquez Mallet. And Mallet, offense and defense, brings it up past the 30-yard line. And finally, the first interception of the season for Elijah Holmes.
Now pushing and shoving after the play, and temper is flaring. As you see with his helmet off, Cameron Stanford, the lineman, senior, number 66. A lot of pushing and shoving at the end of that play. Got ugly. As we take another look at the Ortho Carolina instant replay, he's throwing off his back foot, and this ball is just way too short. His target is wide open there. Is that Sterling Green? I believe it was. Green is wide open, and it may have been a touchdown, but he's throwing it off his back foot there under some duress, throwing it off his back foot, and that ball is way short. And that's when all the pushing and shoving happened after the play. Also in there was trying to, I guess, block on the edge, and then it got a little too physical. It was number 44, Trent Santiago of South Meck. So Santiago for South Meck. And then as you take a look at him there, that Stanford, number 66 of Olympic, got into it a bit, and the officials are not going to have that.
One of the things that's brought up as well from head coach Brandon Thompson for Olympic yesterday was the fact that it is homecoming, so trying to keep everyone focused as well, because this is one of those games in which everything is hyped up for this one night, of course, and then you have the homecoming dance, you have the festivities, the parties before and after, the pep rally earlier today that our own Jay Bell was here, and he caught some of that. It's been a party atmosphere here. How do you lock in now and try to find your way back, as Olympic is in a position they have not been in really all season long, coming in fresh off of a trouncing of Berry and 47 zip over Palisades, 48-6 over Harding, came in with all the momentum in the world. But now, after the first interception of the season for one Elijah Holmes, who takes a knock there on his almost perfect quarterback rating, it's now time for South Mecklenburg to take back over, and it's still the halftime score, 21-10.
So this is interesting. They call the personal foul, but they don't call it both ways. I believe they called the personal foul on Santiago of South Meck. I did not see a signal going both ways, which would be, I guess, offsetting penalties. I didn't see that. I only saw the referee signal towards South Meck.
So it'll set back the Sabres here once of course, they've got the football, but the penalty yardage will be tacked on to the negative here. Looks like right now ball placed at the 35. See if it sticks there, if that also includes yardage on that penalty you mentioned.
If your coaching staff and officials want to keep these guys calm, cool them down, settle them down. So you do not want your emotions to get the better of you. Conference game though, right? Sure. Homecoming. These kind of things happen. There you go. Trying to get those guys focused, trying to get them locked in. You don't want to lose your composure here with so much on the line. Olympic with a perfect season that they're still pursuing. They want that conference championship that eluded them last season. You want to stay focused, and if you're South Meck, you're saying, hey, why not us? Why not now? We've got everything we need. That's what South Meck has got to be saying. We've got everything we need to pull off this upset here tonight.
Penalty yardage is finally coming into play here. Yeah, South Mecklenburg on
back to the 21-yard line, it looks like.
Okay. That's where the Sabres will set up. So I'll look at the coaching staff for Olympic a couple moments ago, led by Brandon Thompson. Now up to Darren Hart, the defensive coordinator for Olympic. See what his defense has here for a South Mecklenburg team that will have to go a little under 80 yards here if they want to claw their way back into what could be a 4-point game, maybe go for 2. It's all there on the table depending on what the Sabres can do. Their next drive starts right here, right now. Running play to kick it off. And this will be second down coming up for the Sabres team with Rhys Miller there and Cash Hunter, the running back that time, second down.
One of the things we've seen in this game a lot, these two teams, they're running right between the tackles. Yeah. Physical running, not trying to go outside, not trying to go east or west. You can tell that's coaching. They've been taught we're going straight up the middle. We're taking it right and punching it in the mouth.
2nd and 3. Hunter again had some good forward progress, then Olympic drags him back. Should be 3rd down coming up. Maybe no gain that time for Hunter. Or did he get a yard or two? We'll see where the 3rd down comes in. Or did he get enough for the 1st down that maybe marked that initial forward progress from Hunter? And it will be a 1st down.
1st down.
Yeah.
Took a while to move the chains.
I know.
But they did move them, and it's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
So here's Rissmiller. Hands it off. Nothing. Stopped cold in the backfield.
It's the homecoming king, Jalen Davis, who made that play.
Got on Cash Hunter.
Yes, he did. Ortho Carolina instant replay. He turned his cash into change. Great play by Davis as he smashes him to the ground. Also got help there from Man Cordray, and what a night he's had also.
2nd and long now. Under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd. For the former tight end, now quarterback, Brock Rissmiller. Drops, looking, got it away, caught, and still up is Hunter. And he's still carrying bodies with him. Hunter using all of his might to get to about the 48-yard line. Got a flag down as well, Armand.
Yep, the flags are starting to come with a little more consistency than they did back in the 1st half. Getting to see who this is on. Good play calling. Man, these guys, they're so resilient. After they make the catch, they take contact and they just keep moving. Blocking the back on South Meck there. It happens a lot on screens. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Let's see if we can spot it. Maybe right there, 74. I think that's what they got. That was the block by Achilles Unger. That was the key block there to spring that play. The problem with the block is it was too good. It was illegal, blocking the back, and that's going to send South Meck back a piece.
It's going to be 2nd and not eternity, but 2nd and really long coming up here for the Sabres. Team that placing 9 starters on the defensive side, and a lot of those players who went through the 0-11 season a couple years ago before things started to bear a little bit of fruit last year for South Mecklenburg coming in tonight, 3 and 4 on the season. And again, the big upheaval at the quarterback position when Cam Reese went down, and then that paved the way for Brock Rissmiller to come in and take over that spot where he has it now.
The referee is standing behind Joe Evans, and the flag is still on the ground. Trying to figure out if there was something else that happened after the play there.
Deer Park. During the North Carolina high school football season, Deer Park 100% natural spring water, honoring one team from each classification with the Deer Park Fueled by Nature Team of the Week Award. Teams selected throughout the season, they're eligible to win the Fueled by Nature Team of the Year Award. For more information, to nominate your team today, scan the QR code with your mobile device. It's on your screen right now. Deer Park, all part of our family of sponsors, the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series, powered by Ortho Carolina and Deer Park. 2nd and 20. And we finally have hit a snag in this game. It clicked by with pretty good expediency in the 1st half. Now just trying to get all these penalties cleared up.
Yeah, this has become a mess. They're trying to get the chains right. They're trying to get the chains together. The ball is at the 35-yard line. According to what we're seeing, they need to reach the 45, so it's 2nd and 10. It's been a bit ugly here. Let's get this game back under control a bit. Joe Evans is trying to figure it out. The officials are trying to talk things over. Let's get this thing cleaned up a bit and figure out what's going on. It should be 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line. They need to reach the 45.
Yeah, this is conventional now. No 2nd and long, 2nd and normal, 2nd and 10 here. Handoff. It'll be 3rd down. Back to the line of scrimmage. And then nothing else, and a flag comes in at the end. Bolden was the back who carried it in a late flag.
Remember that little showdown we had with Santiago and Stanford? And now these officials, they've got the radar on. If they detect any speeding, they're gonna stop you. Personal foul on the defense. Take a look and see if we can spot it here on the Ortho Carolina instant replay. Yeah, you always got to be careful when you have those piles, because sometimes when you're trying to bring the running back or the receiver or whoever down, if you don't get your hands off that player when he has the ball, when they blow the whistle, when they blow the play dead, you've got to give it up. Right. Because you don't want to run the risk of having a penalty called on you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, it's that extra stuff after the whistle is blown. You know, in the last week or two, with all the things we've seen about what is a roughing call, what is this, what is that. The biggest thing is the whistle ends the play, and anything extra, especially if it's pretty fantastic, will get that call. Under a minute to go here in the third. It's first down from just a yard inside of South Meck territory, trying to work their way across midfield. Rissmiller gets it to Bolden Jr., who gets ahead. He's into Olympic territory now. A gain of about 3 to set up second down.
It was a good job there by number 14, Griffin Fickling. He's a running back. He had just enough of a block there on Tavares Boone to give a little bit of space, but that's another thing that Joe Evans talked about. He said, listen, I want my receivers, my backs, you got to block. He says, no block, no rock.
That's the quote right there, exactly. That was the best one. Wide receivers to go out there and do their job to block for the running game, and usually that'll earn them some looks from the quarterback. Speaking of that, Rissmiller fires far side and comes up with a target, and that's Michael Nesbitt again with 5 seconds to go in the third.
That's his first catch of the quarter.
Yeah,
I don't think we've called his name. North Carolina instant replay. And Rissmiller does a nice job. The pressure is coming. That's a good catch, too, along the sideline by Nesbitt there to bring that one in, get the feet, or at least all you need is one, get the feet inbounds there and pick up the first down up to the 40-yard line.
Nesbitt, whose father, Jamar Nesbitt, is the assistant coach for South Mecklenburg, and we have hit somehow the end of the third quarter. Started to drudge a little bit there, but we got through it. The drudge report, if you will. 21-10. Olympic over South Mecklenburg. Back after this, the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina.
Always been a pretty good tennis player, but over the years, my knees may have slowed my game a bit. I don't think anybody notices. Out! 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 Out!
From your first appointment to your full recovery, Ortho Carolina is there every step of the way.
Let's take a breather.
Fourth quarter, ready to start here from Olympic High School on homecoming night. Back here on the NFHS network. Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, Jay Bell, our entire team back here with you.
Brandon Thompson, the head coach of Olympic, is less than satisfied with something, and the referee had to give him a little hand signal there as if to say, Coach, I'm done talking about it. And so we play on here to start the fourth, and the first and 10 at the 40 for South Meck.
Flipping directions too, left to right now goes South Mecklenburg, and it's Xavier Bolden Jr. on first down who takes it up for maybe 2 yards. So second down coming up as things just are being pieced together right now in an 11-point game.
It's a weird third quarter.
Very odd.
Weird.
Yeah. Which again was kind of a, we're over the 2-hour mark now. Now granted, homecoming takes a little bit longer, but game clicked by so quickly. And then the third quarter kind of unraveled a bit. Quick out caught by Mallet. And there goes Tyquez Mallet inside the 20-yard line. Another nice throw from Rissmiller.
Corey, you know, sometimes it's just as simple as getting the ball to your best playmakers. Ortho Carolina instant replay. They brought a blitz that time, did Olympic, but they got the pass off quickly to Mallet, and he's able to just take off up the sideline there. Once he makes this catch, he's got his eyes up the field. He gets a good block on the edge there from Ladarian Lynch, and he's able to pick up that first down.
Ball now just inside the 20. Handoff goes to Cash Hunter on first down now in the red zone here for South Mecklenburg. Gets maybe a yard and a half, second down for the Sabres.
I want to give some love to number 14 of South Meck, Griffin Fickling, the junior running back. They've had him lined up in a couple different spots as in the wing. They've had him lined up in like a fullback position, but he's really dedicated himself. There he is lined up on a wing here. He's dedicated himself to helping support in the run game with his blocking, and he's done a nice job tonight. Number 14, Griffin Fickling.
2nd and 9 after Hunter gained a yard. Rissmiller, end zone, caught, touchdown. Ladarian Lynch has made this a 21-16 game. The lead for Olympic is down to 5 as South Mecklenburg, 3-4 on the season, taking on 7-0 Olympic, and really playing spoiler here to start the fourth.
You want to talk about making a statement.
Oh.
And we talked about it, man, even towards the end of the first half. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Ladarian Lynch is going to make this catch here for the touchdown. And credit to South Meck. They have been fighting and fighting. Good time in the pocket. That ball is placed well. That time by the quarterback, Rissmiller, and Lynch with those sure hands brings it in for the touchdown.
Rissmiller comes back out, going for 2 here are the Sabres with Cash Hunter in the backfield, try to get this down back to a field goal game. 21-16. South Mecklenburg tries to make it 21-18. Rissmiller with time, still has it, scurries, flag, Rissmiller down. And Olympic snuffs it out, no flag actually, thought I saw one came in. That's it, the 2-point conversion goes by the wayside for Brock Rissmiller. And so it stays 21-16 Olympic.
That's man Cordray huffing and puffing on the Olympic sideline. When you make a defensive stop, you can do that. Ortho Carolina instant replay. There's just nothing here for Rissmiller on this play. There's absolutely nothing there. Maybe he can swing it out to the left there, but there's Boone over there to potentially bring that play to a halt. There's just nothing there, and Cordray finishes that play off around the 14-yard line, and then he goes to barking because he knows he just made a big stop to make this hold at a 2-score game for Olympic.
Mentioning Cordray came in with 9 solo tackles on the season and 16 total, along with an impressive 5 tackles for loss, and that time tacks on another. Kind of puts the snuffer out on the 2-point conversion try for South Mecklenburg, but 10-17 to go. This is down to 5, and for the first time really tonight and all season, Olympic has some pressure to go down and respond. They're still stuck on 21 points.
Well, yeah, we gave a lot of praise to this Olympic defense. We also gave a lot to the offense, but it's been the defense that's been the reason that they're still leading this game right now. Guys like Man Cordray, and what did Thompson say about him? All conference defensive lineman last year and will probably be again this year. Loves his size, and he will be playing Saturday football for somebody.
Yes. Cohen Webb ready to kick this away. Webb, a nationally ranked rugby player, chance to play rugby professionally overseas. Somebody else who's got extra stuff in the tank, not just high school football. The return, hard hit at the 40-yard line and brought out by Kyrie Bishop, and Bishop just wore it at the 40, but he was working that seam.
They threw the flag, and I think they threw it for the late hit.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, anything that looks like a personal foul is going to be flagged. Officials are talking this over. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Let's take a look at the hit. Is there helmet-to-helmet contact? Yeah, that's too high. That's not going to get it done. That's Benji Tidwell, I believe, who made that tackle. And that's a tough play. It's been a game of breaks. It's been a second half of penalties to this point. That's going to move Olympic up here with a 1st and 10.
One of the best defensively for South Mecklenburg. Tidwell with a little extra, and we've got a little extra something going on down here on the track as well. It's kind of drawing everyone's attention away. Everything's still normal on the field. If this doesn't get snuffed out here quick, this may actually cause for a pause in play. Yeah, there's really something going down here on the track. Everything's cooled for the moment. Kind of developed, kind of felt the stands rustling a little bit and rumbling. So that's why play is paused here with 10-12 to go. So now security gets involved to try to cool this situation down.
The job of the coaches here is to keep these players focused and keep them locked into what is supposed to be happening on the field. This is an ugly scene.
It is.
And I don't care to speak too much about it further.
Yes.
But if you are the coaches, if you're Coach Evans and if you're Coach Thompson, you got to do your best to keep these guys focused right now. It's been a crazy second half here. Obviously homecoming, and you've got all of the activities that come with that. And this game has gotten chippy as we've gone along here in the second half. But if you're Evans and if you're Thompson, you got to keep these guys settled down. You've got to keep these guys focused, because you still got a game to win. And even with all the things that have been swirling around this football game and the things that have happened in the game with some of the personal foul penalties and even the hit we just saw, the high tackle made there on that return by Benji Tidwell, that tackle made. You've got to keep your guys locked in. You got to keep them focused, and you got to keep them looking at the goal at hand. And the goal right now, if you're Olympic, is to go 8-0. And the goal if you're South Meck is to even up your record at 4-4.
Yeah, and the biggest thing here is to try to get this back under control. And this is not done yet. It's still going on down here. And now we've got more security trying to stop things. And now it may start turning into something even more. And we've had games canceled and just completely erased from the books due to all manner of things. And this is kind of the situation we're in. It's starting to boil over just a tick, and this is the last thing that either of these teams wanted. Now the delay just continues, and you feel like maybe there's a little bit, it's close to losing control here.
You know, I'm disappointed for the players, you know?
Right.
Because this is an opportunity. When we talked with Brandon Thompson, he was so appreciative of the fact, and other coaches have said the same thing. We are so proud because we love football. And you know these coaches love these kids. We love football. We love the sport. We want to see these kids at their best. We want to give them a spotlight. We want to give them an opportunity to show what they can do on a national level, right?
Yes.
This is the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina. And we take a lot of pride in the fact that we know that we're giving these players an opportunity to show what they can do as they're building towards their futures. These are the future NFL stars of tomorrow. These are the future Carolina Panthers and Washington Commanders and New York Giants of tomorrow. And this is an opportunity for them to get the showcase that they deserve. These players in this area, they've earned this. Charlotte is a wonderful football city, and it's been our privilege and our honor to give these guys an opportunity to showcase their talents. And it's been our privilege to give these coaches and to speak with these coaches. Man, how many great conversations have we had with these coaches, and to see all of the wonderful privileges and all the wonderful energy that comes from having a spotlight game like this marred by this kind of activity is heartbreaking.
No, as usual, you say it as perfectly as one can, and it's a very concise and a good evaluation of what's gone on over the last 10 minutes or so, and it just happened kind of seemingly out of nowhere. And the biggest thing now is just to try to get this game restarted as quick as possible and make sure that whatever is still kind of murmuring is nullified quickly, because of course, unfortunately, human nature is to become somewhat curious to find out what's going on. Some of the players, have been watching it. The biggest thing is to try to keep these players as focused as they can be, and we're talking about a delay now going upwards of about 7-8 minutes, and it's broken the flow of the game. And personally, quite a few people probably are more concerned about what happens here themselves. Should they leave or should they stay, and is this game going to continue? You can only hope it does very soon, because this static situation is not good.
Fans are starting to exit here.
Yeah, that's what I don't, this game may not continue.
If there was a public address announcement regarding this game, we haven't heard it.
Not yet, yeah.
But really heartbreaking, really disappointing. We were so excited coming into this 5th and final game of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina. And for things to happen like this, it's pretty heartbreaking. Head coach Brandon Thompson is standing over here in front of the Olympic home side, talking with some of the fans. I guess he's trying to figure things out. The fans are leaving, and they're leaving in mass. So it leaves me to wonder if some announcement has been made regarding whether or not this game will continue, or if it will continue without fans, or if the fans have been asked to clear the stadium. I am not sure exactly what has happened. When we get a word, we will pass it along, but a really difficult situation, and really disappointing, and I'm being kind when I say that. My heart breaks for these players. It's all about the players, Corey.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for the players.
Speaking of those players, Armand, South Mecklenburg, the Sabres are already scaling the fence on the opposite side, and that has all the look for everything of a trip back to the bus. Of course, Olympic would stand where they are and be in no hurry. This is their home field, of course, but South Mecklenburg, that has all the makings of an early dismissal, if you will. So again, fans, a good number, starting to move their way out. Trying to get a confirmation here from the press box. No official announcement yet. And we get upturned palms in the other press box as well. No one quite sure whether this game will continue. This started about 10 minutes ago. There was a scuffle below us and got heated. Law enforcement there to quickly quell most of it. And there was just some extra rumblings. It just didn't get quieted as soon as it needed to. And now there's that air of tension that just kind of zaps everything out here. If nothing else, in one way, you could continue and finish this game without fans. That would predicate getting everyone out. But South Mecklenburg, they look like they're packing for the bus.
Yeah, we don't have an announcement,
right?
But it's not like it's a 70-0 game.
Exactly.
This is a 5-point game, and that's the other part about it that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
This game is so close. South Meck is looking for the upset. Olympic is trying to stay undefeated, and now the South Meck players are coming back over the fence here.
Okay.
That's an encouraging sign, but man, it's frustrating because this is a 5-point game. This game is hanging in the balance right now. It could go either way, with South Meck having just scored that touchdown. And we're looking to see how Olympic will respond. Has it been chippy here in the second half? Yeah, it has, but that's why coaches are in place. That's why officials are in place. But when it spills over and it has nothing to do with what's happening on the field, that's when it can really get out of control. And credit the police and all the personnel there, the safety personnel, to keep people as safe as they could. But the action is on the field, and we came into this game saying to ourselves, this is an opportunity. What did we tell Brandon Thompson? We told him, we said, listen, you let your players play the music, and we'll try our best to put lyrics to it.
Right.
And that's what we've done from the first game, from Marvin Ridge versus Ardrey. It's been our joy to give these players the spotlight they deserve.
Yes.
Because let's face it, some of them will play collegiately. Some of them will not. Many of them will not. And so especially when you start talking about the upperclassmen, the juniors and the seniors, this is their spotlight. The ones who will not be playing collegiately, the ones who will go on and major in business administration or mass communication or whatever the case may be. Or in the military, this is their spotlight.
Yeah.
This is their chance to take in all of what high school athletics can bring. This is their one shining moment. And we don't want to come in the way of that moment. And it's disappointing that activity that had nothing to do with what was going on the field has interrupted the moment that these kids have to shine.
Yeah, and to that point, it's gotten to the point that just about every fan here looks like they'll be ushered out, even though the majority, 98+%, had nothing to do with the incident. But again, and I don't think it's bold or out of turn to say that if this game cannot continue with fans in the stands, fans need to leave, game resumed. It's a privilege. Exactly. The stream is live. Everyone can cool down and watch it on their mobile device.
Yes, you can.
And that's part of the fan code of conduct. We've all been fans. As much as we all like to say we're involved in the game from a non-fan level, sometimes we almost take pride in saying that. I don't watch games as a fan. I work games. I've heard that a lot. I've gotten to the point myself personally, I want to say a couple things that I've never said. And one of the things is this: when you're a fan, you sign up for a coach.
Don't know, and you probably don't, because why would you? Who told you? You had a birthday this week.
I did.
You turned a certain age that is older than me.
Hey, hey.
Just by a few months, though.
We're close.
Yes,
Yep.
we are. But to make it even sweeter, your father is here.
Yes.
He's standing right behind us, and what a wonderful guy he is. It's been a pleasure to meet him. And happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to you. And Corey Hodges has turned 32 on Wednesday.
That's right. Thank you, Jay.
You also got a happy birthday from our producer, Jay Bell. And Jay wanted you to know that he'll be 57 at the end of the month.
That's the star I'm shooting for. No, absolutely. That's a benchmark. I go back to the old Japanese analogy of collecting birthdays, of not looking at birthdays as the great George Takei shared this not long ago, of Star Trek fame, of course.
Yes.
How each birthday for those tuning in right now, they may think, goodness great, this is a football broadcast. What have I wandered into? Rod Serling should appear on the screen here in a second. You've entered the twilight zone. But in Japanese thinking, in Japanese culture, they look at birthdays as collecting birthdays. I find this comforting because, sometimes our personal lives can get a little disrupted. That's happened to all of us. It's important to take comfort in certain things. And I take comfort in this, collecting birthdays. 32, 33, 57. My father in his late 60s and operates like a guy younger than I am 90% of the time. He has more energy than anyone I know. And you and I, in our early 30s, we're kind of in that stage of your life to where you're trying to work your way up the ladder. You're looking for opportunities. We've been blessed with a wonderful opportunity this fall for you and I to reconnect. And our entire team, and a good friend of mine from UNC Charlotte, Matt Jackson, able to join our team. And Matt and I have known each other for almost 10 years now. And you get everyone together. But the biggest thing, collect birthdays. In other words, you're gaining a collection of memories each time. So ideally, collect as many as you can.
I thought of getting you a cake or a slice of cake.
Yeah.
Then I said, no. I decided against it. And I kind of wish I had, though.
That would have been a good picture.
Yeah,
a good little moment.
It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been.
I got a feeling that we would have gotten a good retweet out of that from our entire Charlotte rivalry series on Twitter as well. I feel like that's something that Corey Steinecker and the entire team and Sal Caprita and everybody that makes up our team probably would have seen that and said, you know what, that's a good human interest moment here. And, you know, if we're talking about things for celebration, and again, I thank you for acknowledging that. You're a good friend, and this has been a great ride because of it. But you look down onto the field, and it's almost that celebration of a sense that the clock's almost restarted in a way here. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we may set not a record. That's kind of something that you don't want to use just haphazardly.
I gotta get some heat.
Yeah. Which rules do we use for the extra period? But we've reset the clock here.
Right.
It's almost like this is 5:30 again.
It's kind of. I mean, it's like an extended halftime. I mean, it's a weird situation, and I like what Olympic is doing. They're just stretching it out and warming up and keeping their guys as limber as they can.
That's right. Yeah, fifth quarter, right? There's 10-12 to go in the fourth quarter, and now it kind of looks like with Halloween coming up, looks like that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Halloween when everyone's had to go home and all that's left is some wrappers and some whatever they left behind. It's kind of what the stands look like. It has a eerie look back to 2020. Unfortunately, kind of revisiting the fanless experience, but this place is quiet now.
It is silent. Whew. And now the question is, how much longer do the officials want to wait here before they get things going again? And I haven't seen, I would imagine there would be some sort of a conversation with both the coaches to try to figure out timing. I haven't seen that. Right now the officials are on the field. You can see them in our wide shot there. They're in a huddle at the 45-yard line here, talking things over. But I would imagine that you're trying to just figure out from a timing standpoint and trying to make sure that this thing is safe, number one. That's always the priority. But also you're trying to get the timing right as you see Olympic keeping loose and warming up and keeping fired up. And let's see how we do this here. It's been so long since we had action.
Look at this. What a side here. In a place that is fallen just silent with just a smattering of onlookers still allowed to watch here behind some of the fencing. So they're peering in on the far side. Some of the South Mecklenburg fans still filling the stands. This is the only really bleacher seats that are still filled. Maybe no more than about 50, 60 people still in the stands here.
You're looking at the coaches. Joe Evans is talking. Brandon Thompson's talking. They're talking to each other here. And yeah, I guess trying to figure out at what point do we keep things going here.
So Evans motion up, gesture towards the.
Evans doesn't look pleased with what's being said.
It's not the.
This is an unusual situation here, and coaches and officials are just trying to find their way through this thing. Whatever's being said to Evans, he's not satisfied with it. He just walked away and sort of disgust, trying to figure out what is happening here. Once again, it's a 5-point game. 21-16, Olympic has the lead. South Meck scored the most recent touchdown. Personnel on the field, I guess, communicating with authorities. Stephanie Wilkerson, the AD, is on the field. And the gentleman in the white hat is the head of security here at Olympic. So they are the two. They're at the right of your screen. They're talking. Mr. Patterson is his name, the gentleman in the white hat. And they're talking with both coaches. Evans and Thompson are there trying to sort this thing out. Once again, we don't have an announcement from public address.
Evans is, yeah.
Evans is very unhappy.
It has all the looks of this game ending where it is now. And, of course, Evans looking at the scoreboard thinking we've got a chance here to pull, you know, one of the biggest upsets in Charlotte high school football this season. You can't end it now.
That would be a shame.
Yeah.
That would be a shame if that were to happen. The number one concern is the safety of everyone involved. Yes. That is most important. And if there's any uncertainty or concern about that safety, then the game becomes secondary. Let's make that abundantly clear.
Absolutely.
The safety of everyone involved is paramount. And anything after that is at the bottom of the list.
That's right. No, there's, yeah.
And now you're seeing the referee, AD, Wilkerson, two head coaches. And now in the middle of this, and we're just trying to figure this thing out along with you guys, folks. So bear with us here as we sort through this. It's interesting. We got that haze at the beginning of our game tonight, and now there is a haze of a different kind, a metaphorical haze hanging over Dave Johnson Stadium.
Yeah, great call back there to the start of the game. And you know, Stephanie Wilkerson, who's been so great this week, setting up our interview with head coach Brandon Thompson, helped me personally with ticketing, and she's been fantastic. She's down there, and you can tell she's right in the middle of it, and it's not the coolest conversation there with the most senior leadership down there either, just trying to get this sorted out. You can tell emotions are about pegged here. I think probably the coolest people out there are the players.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, I mean, ultimately all they want to do is play, right?
Sure. It's
when you put those pads on,
yeah.
you put the jersey on, you put the cleats on, you've got one goal: win the game. You practiced all week.
Right.
You've gone to classes. You've taken your tests. You've taken your exams. Let's face it, being a high school student is hard enough as it is. You've got all the things that come with it from both a social and a scholastic standpoint. And this is your opportunity to release, to play the sport that you love. These guys have probably been playing football their entire lives, Pee-wee and Little League and everything else. And especially for the seniors, this is your last homecoming. You want to give it everything you've got, and you want to play this game to the finish until there's no more game to be played. And that's in jeopardy, it appears, right now, as we continue to see the officials and the authorities sort this thing out.
Evans has the headset off. Thompson with the headset off as well.
My switchboard said the play of the game is the police.
On an evening here that started out so crisp and concise and only had one penalty flag in the first half.
South Meck fans, Corey, now are starting to exit.
They need to keep the players moving.
And I wonder if maybe they were trying to wait for the Olympic fans to clear the field.
That's a great point.
Or clear the area first.
Yeah.
Clear the parking lot. And then they wanted the South Meck fans to do the same. I'm wondering if that's what was happening. And I'm wondering if the frustration was because the coaches are like, we just want to play, everything's okay, and the officials and the authorities. This is just me speculating here, but that's kind of all I have at this point. Because I'm just wondering if maybe the authorities were saying, let's let the Olympic fans leave first, make sure they have departed, and now the South Meck fans do the same.
Yeah. Could almost do the sound effect for it. The biggest thing here is, again, with a little bit of levity, but, you know, it's the old saying, for whom the bell tolls, you know, well, you know, the bell tolls for thee. In other words, the bell tolls that this game is probably, by all looks of it, if it does restart, it looked promising about 10, 15 minutes ago, but now it seems like this is more of a case between athletic staff and coaches, and this place is going to be almost completely bereft of anyone else except us, other press box staff, and the players on the field and the coaches, a select few, will get to witness this game. But despite everything we're saying, it looks like,
Play some football. What's Olympic doing?
and the biggest thing here now, Olympic getting their coaches together. Everybody just wants to play.
Corey, the other thing, too, is it's been so long since anybody has done anything in the way of football action. The officials have not got to reset the game and, like, who has the ball? Where is the ball?
Exactly.
What down is it? Where is the ball supposed to be placed? They got to figure all those things out as well.
Here having a laugh with, well, they're packing up our Ortho Carolina branding. If there's ever a harbinger of doom, that would be it.
Double, 10 below.
Pretty. We're seeing players on the field here. They're lining up.
Yeah.
Officials are talking this over.
2 by 2.
We're playing football.
Yes,
Ron.
we are. It's the ball's at the 45-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Let's go.
Oh boy.
You don't have a game tomorrow, do you?
I do. Oh, Jay Bell and I operate on that round-the-clock schedule.
Oh yeah, baby.
Both Jay
Burning
and I
that midnight oil.
Both Jay and I are thinking right now, you got to be kidding.
Burn that midnight oil.
That little 15-minute nap I took earlier today is wasn't ready for this. Oh boy. Okay.
That had to be about a 30, 35 minutes there-ish. It's quarter to 10 almost here now.
Yeah.
Here we go, though. 1st down and 10. Ball at the 45-yard line. Olympic has the ball. Let's rock and roll.
All right. After all that, with nary a fan watching now, Olympic football from the 45-yard line. Who's the quarterback? Who's the running back? It's Devin Walker who takes it. Walker gets about 4 at the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd down on the handoff from Elijah Holmes, and we play on.
Well, many things have changed, but Devin Walker breaking tackles has not changed. Such a fierce runner, fierce competitor, and has he had a good night tonight.
Unique circumstance here as we flash back to those coronavirus days when fans were not allowed in, and a lot of games played out exactly like this, withholding the sounds from the field. Here goes Moore, who takes it, or Holmes rather, takes it up and scurries past the 30-yard line, picks up a 1st down here for Olympic.
We've seen it more than once tonight. Ortho Carolina instant replay. They're just running these designs. This is a draw play, right? Yeah. What a huge hole, man. That's a cavernous hole he's got up the middle of the field to find his way up the field for that 1st down. Just great blocking up front by Olympic. But when they run those design quarterback runs, they've worked.
Working now for a 1st down here from the 30-yard line. And it's again Holmes who takes it, but this time South Mecklenburg is up to Elijah Holmes and stops him. It'll be 2nd down.
I believe that was Alex Jones making that play. When they've needed a tackle here, or big play defensively, Alex Jones has been the one to answer the call for Joe Evans' crew.
8.5 to go.
I love that quote. Sorry, Corey. I love that quote there from Joe Evans. He said, "Clouded mind on defense. Clouded mind equals slow feet."
Yeah.
A clear mind, fast feet.
A lot of truth in that, too. You can apply that to your everyday life, too. Clear your mind.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, I love that, too. Great you brought that up. 2nd down now from just inside the 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Walker again. Got about 3, maybe 4 yards. Then he was pushed back by a crowd from South Mecklenburg. It will be 3rd down.
Joe Evans had, he's probably the most quotable coach we've spoken with in our 5 games.
Yeah, he had some gems, as the saying goes. He also had some good thoughts about Teron Williams, who's one of the more recent graduates who's gone on to play college football, playing for North Carolina Central. Got to touch on that, too. We've had plenty of time to do it. We still got that in the bank, if you will. A little toss play here to Reese Graham. Finally get to see Graham out of the backfield for Olympic, and he gets close to the 20-yard line. So we got a Graham appearance.
Yes, indeed. Nice to see him on the field. Been waiting for him tonight. But a huge key block by number 56, Christian Carranza. And if that last name sounds familiar, it's because Lucas Carranza, the sophomore, is also on that offensive line. The Carranza boys are working together to create lanes and holes for the running backs to pick up nice gains for Olympic. 4th down here now.
Graham's 51st carry of the season wasn't enough to pick up the first down, so it's 4th and 1 from just outside the 20. Hard counter 2 here for Holmes. Hands it off. There goes the space, and that is a first down for Devin Walker to pick up a fresh set for Olympic. They're on the move. 6:36 to play.
Gutsy call. North Carolina instant replay. Watch Cameron Stanford here, number 66. On the left side of this offensive line. This is the key block right there. Like that seal, that's the key to allowing him to bounce to the outside to pick up that first down. A lot of running between the tackles, but on that play, they get to the outside, they get to the edge. They only needed a yard, and they pick up the first.
1st and 10 here from the 17-yard line. Again, it's Graham who gets it. Reese Graham keeps on getting a push here just past the 10-yard line. And Graham is down, ball still secure, and Olympic keeps possession here, 2nd down.
We talked all night about Devin Walker and his refusal to go down, and Reese Graham joins the party, says, I won't go down either. North Carolina instant replay. I'm just going to be stubborn. Get a good push up front, good push back, number 72, Andrew Brewer, the senior offensive lineman, and I'm just not going down.
Family tree affair. 2nd down. 2nd and 3. Again, it'll be 3rd down. Not much happening there on the play that again went to Graham. So here's someone coming in now up to 54 carries on the season. Came in, Armand, with 57 touchdowns and just north of 600 yards. And it took him a while to get in the game, but looks like he's kind of giving Devin Walker a break here.
Big opportunity here for South Meck on defense. Alex Jones made that hit again. Let's see if South Meck can stand tall and get another stop here on 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down and 2. Ball just inside the 10-yard line. Walker is the back. It will be Elijah Holmes to keep, and Holmes just keeps powering his way inside the 5-yard line, and that aggressiveness makes another appearance, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Trojans.
Man, this offensive line is just giving Holmes so many holes. North Carolina instant replay. They even bring in the running back to block, and you take a look, a little bit of a push there from Christian Carranza. Nothing was called, but those Carranza boys have been really making things easier for the quarterback and for these running backs. But a great job there even on that last play, as Devin Walker was also in there to block, and he had a big block there to help Holmes get up towards the 2-yard line.
This is 1st and goal. Holmes still has it, and Holmes is into the end zone for the Olympic touchdown. He twisted and turned and eventually got his way into the end zone for 6 for Olympic. And after all of that, the Trojans lead it 27-16.
North Carolina instant replay, and Holmes, this is just pure determination, and there's nothing there. He twists to the left and fights his way to the goal line and is left standing at the end of it all to score the touchdown.
Extra point now from Jared Goals to make this 28-16. Try to cap off the drive. Goals does so. Everyone looks like they're completely back in form for Olympic. 28-16, 4:36 to go. And the Trojans on a convincing late game drive, trying to put away South Mecklenburg here. And now it's up to the Sabres to try to respond coming up.
Corey, you know, sometimes it's scheme, and sometimes you do everything you can as a coach to give your guys the opportunity.
Yeah.
But, man, when you get out there on that field and it's man on man, that's it. And you're looking at another man who's maybe 6 feet, 220, 30 pounds. You just got to make a decision, right?
Sure.
I mean, I don't like the whole thing of who wants it more. I think that's a really bad cliche. But sometimes, man, you just stand a guy up and say, listen, it's you or me. And on that last possession, Elijah Holmes said, listen, it's going to be me. And it was. And Olympic has a 12-point lead because of it.
Little in sync in there. It's going to be me.
That's an NSYNC song?
NSYNC.
I had no idea. Bye, bye, bye. Who made that one? Is that NSYNC?
Oh, it's either that or Backstreet Boys. Boy,
yeah, well, those would be the two.
That's it. We're down the rabbit hole again. We're down the vortex. Tipped off the fingertips of the return man for South Mecklenburg, Marquis Watford. Watford, though, fortunately that he had help from behind to keep possession of it around the 30-yard line. And no matter your favorite 90s boy band here, you know, we're getting ready to rock here and sing the final song here. 4:34 to go. Here comes the Sabres and down by 12, so you got to get a touchdown here quick.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a lot of time left here. The key is both teams have all their timeouts. Offensive line, you got to help Brock out here. We talked about it in our Ortho Carolina keys to the game. Give him time. He can make a throw when he needs to.
Rhys Miller had it tapped and incomplete. Got up with the big paw, and that was elite Nairn.
Of course it was.
Of course.
But this is what Brandon Thompson told his guys on the defensive line. Get your hands up. And that time, you can tell they've been trained, right? They've been taught. It becomes, when coaching is good and when teaching is good, stuff just becomes instinct. You get those hands up. Bam, bam, bam. Pass play is made. Up they go. And Nairn is one of the best on this defense at it.
So blocked it away there. An incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. The ball's up here to the 32-yard line for South Mecklenburg. 2nd down. Quick out to Tyquez Mallet. Mallet, far side, down the sideline. Mallet to the 20, turns back. If Mallet stayed in bounds, it's a breakaway touchdown, and it is. Tyquez Mallet somehow found the space. If he kept everything in bounds, this is suddenly now a 28-22 game. Here it is.
Oh, my word. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Broken tackle, and then at that point, it's a foot race. It's just a foot race. That's a 68-yard touchdown, and the defender's right there at about the 15-yard line. Robert Graham completely misses him because Mallet's speed is such that he can race down the sideline and pick up that score. And just like that, within less than a half minute, South Meck has cut this thing back to a one-score game.
13 points scored here in under about 30, 35, 40 seconds. 28-22, now going for 2. Tipped, incomplete, as Rhys Miller again comes up empty on a 2-point conversion. It'll stay 28-22 with 4:12 to go.
Because now if we score a touchdown,
Wow.
we have to make the
Wow.
Just like that, right?
Yeah.
Here's the key now, though. If you are Olympic, both teams with all 3 of their timeouts. If Olympic can string together a long drive here, they can maybe salt this game over.
That's
right. Because those first downs, the clock will stop on those first downs. Depending on where they get the ball, they can string something together here. You can start forcing South Meck to use their timeouts to try to save time on their part. But this is a critical possession. But I tell you, Tyquez Mallet, I said it earlier, and it's worth repeating. There are some guys that you have to draw things up for, right, to get them an opportunity. Tyquez Mallet is not one of those guys. Mallet is that guy you just say, all right, where is he? Is he on the field? Is he in a slot? Is he spread out wide? Wherever he is, let's just find him.
Yeah.
And then after we find him, he'll do something spectacular.
A couple guys on this South Mecklenburg team, it's what Joe Evans talked about. Put the ball in their hands, let them go. Cohen Webb will put the true kickoff, and it bounds at the 2 and picked up and now sliding to a stop. So the drive here for Olympic will start at just past the 5-yard line. And here we go to see the Trojans again. And Holmes that time was down to kind of get around it and secure it. Kind of made the quick decision to slide. So here comes Olympic up by 6, 3:45 to go, and yeah, you're hunting first downs right now.
Elijah Holmes, though, he's been great, and so has this guy, the Ortho Carolina player of the game. Devin Walker, number 24, started it off, had that 44-yard touchdown run, then superb breaking tackles and running with perseverance. He's the Ortho Carolina player of the game.
It'll be Holmes who takes it up for about 2 yards that time. So Devin Walker, our player of the game, and now second down coming up here for Olympic.
Wondering at what point does South Meck start calling their timeouts. Obviously Olympic wants to run clock, but if you're Olympic, you can't be too conservative. You got to keep moving the ball down the field to try to salt the game away.
3 minutes to play.
Twins right, tight left.
Second down, it looks to be 7 here for Olympic. Holmes hands it off. Here goes Devin Walker. Walker past the 15-yard line, maybe up to about the 17. And that is enough to pick up a first down for the Trojans.
And a good burst that time, too, by Walker. We've seen the physicality.
Yeah.
But on that play, you saw a little bit of a burst as he bounced to the outside to pick up that first down for Olympic.
Walker got a nice break there when Graham came in and produced on that last drive. The all-important first down here, 2:20 and counting, and so Olympic again looking for maybe one more first down, or if nothing else, get this under 2 minutes without getting stopped for a loss, and they'll again give it back to the player of the game, Devin Walker, to keep it running.
Timeout now by South Meck, and this is what you have to do. As you take another look at Walker, and what a great night he's had. But now South Meck, you need a stop, right?
Oh yeah.
If you don't get a stop here, this game is probably over. So you get a stop on first down. It picks up about 5 yards. But if you are Olympic, you're telling your offensive line, as Brandon Thompson told us yesterday, bring them down. Take them down, protect, block well, hold up on that offensive line, give Walker space. There's a flag down here now.
Saw that.
What is this flag for here? Don't know if that was an accident or not. Doesn't look like it was.
No. It's not picked up yet.
It was way after the play.
Yeah, it was.
Both teams were sort of huddled up after the timeout by South Meck, and then the flag was thrown.
But now they're going to call that? What they call?
This is on South Mecklenburg. It would obviously be to the benefit of Olympic. They could.
Joe Evans looks confused as the official explains it to him.
But what?
Yeah, Evans, not a happy camper here over the last few times we've had a close look. His team is hanging with an undefeated Olympic team, but
the ref is pointing to the sideline. At least he was for a second there. So I wonder if this is some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or something like that. That's typically where it falls, or else it's a sideline issue. Here we go with the explanation. At least I thought we were going to get it.
Another 20-minute delay.
Still talking this over with Joe Evans here. And now Evans is racing over to his sideline.
I don't even know what happened.
Don't know what this is yet, folks. Evans is coming back now.
God damn it.
Walking back towards the 45-yard line. And now the ref is talking over with Brandon Thompson. I don't know what this is. As I said, the flag was thrown way after the play. It was a timeout call by South Meck. It's 2nd and 5.
Oh, I know. No, I know.
And now Thompson is trying to get some clarity.
Yeah, he's in on this too now. Yeah. So for the game that will never end, now we're back to the X's and O's and the officials trying to get this thing sorted out again, as if it could, a game that almost couldn't fit another long delay in. It has yet another long delay.
Well, at least both coaches look equally irate.
Yeah.
No, we'll take it home. It is a possum.
Maybe that's a positive thing. I don't know.
Is anyone else left here tonight?
Unsportsmanlike.
Okay. Is it a squirrel? Is it a squirrel? It's a cat.
Okay.
South Meck.
That's what the hold was? No. There's a cat in the stands, but
there you go.
Okay.
A flag on our pitch.
Sportsmanlike conduct against South Meck. I don't know why. I figured that's what it had to be.
Yeah.
But you know, they were looking towards the sideline, Corey. And I don't know. The ref can throw a flag because of something an assistant coach or somebody says on the sideline. I'm not saying that's what happened.
Yeah.
But it's within the realm of possibility. And unsportsmanlike conduct on South Meck.
Their equipment. South Meck. They called it on the bench. They called it.
It'll be a first down.
I'm sorry, Corey.
It's okay.
But the officials can throw a flag if something is going on the bench or on the sideline.
Okay.
Don't forget South Meck lost the timeout as well.
Yeah.
That timeout is still gone. All of that happened after the play, after the timeout was already called.
First down here at the 39-yard line.
Joe Evans is getting clarity from the ref. Referee earned his check tonight.
Yeah, if you're on the payroll for this game, no matter what position you work, you earned it tonight.
All right, so it's first down Olympic.
Yeah. Clock runs under 2 minutes now.
Get out.
Elijah Holmes gets last instruction or two. 1st and 10 here. Handoff goes to Devin Walker. Walker got past one defender and past the 45-yard line. Kind of leaves Tidwell in the dust there. 2nd down.
So what's been happening all night? Ortho Carolina instant replay, and if you're South Meck, you got to make this tackle, right? I mean, Tidwell just doesn't really come close, but that's a play you got to make in this scenario, in this situation, trying to stay alive in this game, trailing by 6 points with 1.5 minutes left. That's a play you got to make, but the back bounces to the outside, and if another first down in this game, and it's probably over for South Meck. So you're holding on with all your might here, as this will be a 2nd down and about 2 or 3-ish at about the 47-yard line.
You're just looking for that pickup here, and what should have been the last timeout, more than likely for South Mecklenburg, unless they still have one left.
I think they have one left.
Okay.
Corey.
So you figure here, try to get a stop post 3rd, use another timeout, but obviously, as is always the case, first downs negate the timeout. It's pretty obvious what Olympic wants to do here, just to try to get to the end of this game, and something that's just boiled down to extra explanations. And again, this is so funny in a way. It's gotten to that point because of how crisp and clean the first half was. The second half and the first half, you likely will never see again.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, exactly right. And especially this spooky season, as they call it, it really is Jekyll and Hyde, to where the second half and the first half couldn't be more of the antithesis of one or the other. It's been completely different. Doesn't resemble. It's like this game came in from another part of the universe.
They are addressing the clock. The clock is at 1:36. It needs to be adjusted.
Thank you.
Or maybe that was the play clock. One of the coaches on the Olympic side was pointing towards the press box, asking for a change to the clock.
Yeah.
I guess that's been addressed here now. But in this game, you're never too sure. No, it's not been addressed. They're still signaling towards the press box here, trying to see what number they're trying to give that needs to be on the clock. It looks like they're trying to change the game clock. It's at 1:36, but it needs to be something else. That's what I saw a second ago.
Just added 22 seconds. Was it off by that much?
Wow.
From 136 to 158.
There you go.
God. Somehow we've lost track of 22 seconds.
Wow.
Wow. Little girl lost, more like 22 seconds lost. Went through the wall. Second down here, second and short. Regardless of the time, the goal is still the same. Get a first down. Devin Walker has a first down for Olympic. Past midfield into South Mecklenburg territory. Trojans up by 6. More than likely now that final timeout coming.
Yep, final timeout is called. Ortho Carolina instant replay. Such a push. They get those guys pushed to the left, and Walker just knows how to find an alley up to the middle towards cutting to the right, and he picks up the first down, and that's the kind of night it's been for Olympic, and that's the kind of night it's been for this offensive line. Attention to detail, all the things that Thompson talked about, buying in, paying attention to the little things. The offensive line has done that for Walker in this game tonight. And they're on their way now, as I do believe South Meck just called their final timeout. And so they cannot stop the clock here now with 1.5 minutes and counting.
The clock's been wound, and now it's going. 1:27 and counting. First and 10 from the 49 of South Mecklenburg. Devin Walker pulled from behind, try to keep him from gaining more than a yard or two. Second down. Walker kind of gets these late carries.
Well, let's see. Now the timeout is called. All right, so they only stopped the clock last time for the first down. Now this is South Meck's final timeout with 1 minute and 17 left here. And so we do have that cleared up. We're not certain of a lot of things tonight, but I can say with a good bit of authority that South Meck just called its final timeout. I'm pretty sure I'm standing on solid ground when I say that, Corey.
Again, there's so many different things you can say, but I'm not going negative. This has all the feeling of a summer league baseball game. I don't know why I'm saying that.
I used to work those too.
Same here. I mean, you and I are kindred spirits. You know how some of these games go?
Yep.
You know, midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're trying to figure out, do we have ordinance here to keep the lights on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is kind of what I'm getting from this, except it's October and it's football.
Was there a baseball game? Was it the Rays and the Guardians went like 15 or 16 innings last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What this has kind of turned into here is that
marathon.
Oddly enough, we're only 3 hours in, which is the typical length of a professional game, college game. But, you know, we've gotten to that tonight with all the extra stuff. Oh, thank you. Yeah, 3 hours, 38 minutes. Our official time score there, and our whole team in the truck. And now the scrum is on here because Olympic looked to be in victory formation. And what happened after? We've got flags all over the place. And did both teams finally just come together?
What happened is a good way to ask the question. Cameron Stanford, number 66, is barking again here. So he doesn't take the knee right away, does Holmes. He backpedals. He's trying to kill time, right?
Yes.
Trying to kill time, and then that causes the scramble, and then a vicious hit there on the tackle. I couldn't catch the number, but that got some hurt feelings to follow. And now there are some more flags. There are at least 3 yellow fellows on the field here.
So that was set up for the simplest of plays there for Olympic, but in a night where not even the simple is that, we've got yet more to unravel. You've never seen anything like this.
I haven't. I've never seen anything quite like this. And once again, Holmes is trying to kill time. He doesn't take a knee right away. The hit comes in. It was a bit vicious, and that's when all the chaos ensued. And if you recall, Cameron Stanford, who had his helmet off just a second ago, he was in the little dust-up with Santiago of South Meck earlier in the second half, I believe in the third quarter, and some flags were thrown for that play.
Living up to our tag, of course, all fall, the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series. And that's what it is here at the end. Finally, you can almost feel it in a way. Eventually, something was going to crack a bit, and you kind of just felt like one team or the other wasn't just going to go through the motions here towards the end, and something was going to happen. You know, what else can this game hold? There's a point where Brandon Thompson's down there on the sideline. He's getting some call on that yellow flag he doesn't like.
So they offset the penalties. The face mask on South Meck for the tackle on Holmes.
Okay.
But it's unsportsmanlike conduct against Olympic, so they offset the penalties. And at some point, this game is going to end. I don't know how it will end, but at some point, it does have to end.
Our conference call earlier in the week was great. Talked about how, you know, to have a good one and should be business as usual. Gosh.
Anything but that
Anything
tonight.
But.
Anything but. Not even a kneel down is simple.
Yeah.
At Dave Johnson Stadium here tonight. An October 14th that I shall not soon forget.
No, you and me both. I already know if Langston Wirtz doesn't have an article about something, either on Twitter tonight or tomorrow morning, then he's not the Langston Wirtz that I've always gone to for the information here. This is going to be written about. It's going to be a good discussion piece for this weekend. Unfortunately, for a lot of the wrong reasons, but even with what's going on now that everything's kind of calmed down and we're just back to football.
Corey, this is important. It's third down now.
Yeah.
This is big because unless Olympic gets a first down here on this third down,
that's a great point.
South Meck may have an opportunity to get the ball back here.
Can you imagine losing this game? Olympic?
Anything is possible at this point.
Right.
Anything is possible. But this is important because 3rd and 20 is what it is. The ball's at the 40. They need the other 40. They need the 39, actually, of South Meck to pick up the first down. It's probably 3rd and 21. But if they get a stop here and Olympic does not get a first down, South Meck may get the ball back here. My, oh, my. Play clock is at 4. They got to get this thing off.
They're going to delay a game here, unless you've got a timeout to use. Fortunately, Olympic has one, because this could have been 3rd and 26.
Wow.
So, yeah, it brings right back your talking point from earlier, because this is now 3rd and ultra long. It's now going to be a situation to where you've got to try to get something out of this, but unless you come up with something big, it's going to be 4th down. You turn this over maybe midfield, and yeah, this is not over. It's kind of gotten into that situation to where kind of feeding off of that last play, which was almost a non-football play of a sense. And the craziest thing about all this is that the team that looked to be the winners tonight, the team that scored the last touchdown, could actually still be in a very precipitous situation here, because what you can't take away is that the game will be finished, but is the team that kind of felt like they were going to win this in danger of actually losing it in the craziest fashion possible, because South Mecklenburg has a play here. Let's see what happens. It's a trite saying, but 3rd and long.
Don't forget this too. South Meck missed the 2-point conversion. If they get the ball back and score a touchdown, the game is tight at that point. They would still have to get the extra point to win the game. So much can happen in these final 75 seconds.
Biggest 3rd down of the night. Little pitch here blockers up in front, but Walker gets shoved back, and it will be 4th down. Clock rolls, minute 2 and counting.
Another flag.
Of course, South Mecklenburg, who celebrates, who gets the stop. It is 4th down, and yeah, that penalty there as well. Walker got it on the toss. Never a chance to pick up the first, so it is 4th down. Penalty yardage may come into play here as well. No doubt will for one side or the other.
Ortho Carolina instant replay. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. There's a push right there as the official is running the clock. There's also a player to fall here for South Meck. I'm trying to catch that number. There was a player for South Meck, looked like number 31, Jack Williams, knocked down Cohen Well. Let's see if we can catch another look at this. Ortho Carolina instant replay. And yeah, so 56 in red, that's Christian Carranza, bumped into Cohen Webb, and then Webb fell down, and then the flag was thrown. So Carranza in red of Olympic bumps into Cohen Webb, who felt like a champ.
Yeah.
And there's the personal foul. It's called against Olympic. It was not South Meck on South Meck there.
Yeah.
And then Cohen Webb fell. I misspoke. I said Jack Williams. That was not correct. It was Christian Carranza, the lineman for Olympic, who bumped into Cohen Webb. Cohen Webb fell like he was trying to get an Oscar. And now it is 4th and Concord for Olympic.
Right. Down goes Webb, not down goes Frazier. Down goes Webb. And now, yeah, it's 4th and whatever our drive is back home after this is over. And so now Olympic will punt. Jared Goals will punt. And South Mecklenburg will get set with their returners at around the 45-yard line.
And I would imagine South Meck would play this safe here. They're going to get the ball, and they're probably going to get it with great field position, too. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And remember, clock is going to stop on first downs. Brock Rissmiller may come into Olympic and steal this game, and what a huge upset it would be.
Yeah, this is something right here. There's one more chapter left in this overlong book, bedtime story, if you will. Thought Halloween was scary. How about getting through this game tonight? That's a whole, deserve a bowl of candy after this one. As Jared Goals will punt it away, and Mallett and Lynch are back to return.
Two dangerous guys, Corey.
Yes, absolutely. Goals, who kind of has it lofted to him, punches it up the middle, fielded at the, well, it won't even be fielded. It's going to roll here to the 20, maybe the 19. Kept it away from Mallett.
A little surprised Mallett didn't at least try to either stop that ball or pick it up. You lost a lot of yardage there, and now your quarterback's got to go 82 yards to try and win this game for South Meck. I thought Mallett would try to make a play on that ball there and at least save some field position, but it's going to be 1st down and 10, South Meck. Here's the key, though. No timeouts for the Sabres. Olympic has 2. Clock stops for a moment on those first downs as they move the sticks and spot the ball. So here we go, 48.6, South Meck looking for the upset, down by 6. Here we go.
Biggest goal right now with no timeouts left for South Mecklenburg. Get first downs, then get out of bounds.
Yes, and Olympic keep everything in front. You're willing to give up short plays, but not the big ones.
Olympic's back deep defensively. That one's checked down to Lynch. Gets away from a tackle. Now Lynch just wants to get out of bounds. Does so at the 35-yard line. 1st down, South Mecklenburg.
And Jaron Tosi there got stopped. He got dropped in his shoes there as a great cut after that catch made there by Lynch. Tosi was supposed to make that tackle, and Lynch went around him on a beautiful cut to pick up that 1st down.
Took 8 seconds off the clock. Ball now at the 34-yard line. First down for the Sabres.
It is first down. This should not say second down over there on the chains.
Got that fixed.
Reset the play clock and go to work.
Quick one, caught by Tyquez Mallett. Mallett gets out of bounds, gets to about the 43-yard line. 34 seconds left. Be second and short here for South Mecklenburg.
How valuable is Tyquez Mallett?
Oh, so valuable.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
All the talk about Nesbitt and his brother playing at UNC, and Mallett's been the star in the second half for South Meck.
Second and 2 from the 42-yard line. Knocked down, incomplete on the throw by Rhys Miller. Third down.
Of course, it was Tavares Boone, who's been so huge tonight. Jumps up and almost picked that pass off. 2 interceptions by Rhys Miller thrown earlier tonight. He settled down some, but that one would have been a disaster. Would have ended the ball game for South Meck.
2 interceptions tonight for Olympics defense. If they had come through with that one, would have been it, but life still remains for South Mecklenburg. 3rd and 2. Rhys Miller, pressure comes. Rhys Miller throws it away. Incomplete, trying to toss it over there to Chris Brown, the wide receiver. Nothing else. Rhys Miller trying to get out of major pressure. 4th down.
I love the call by defensive coordinator Darren Hart. Dial it up, make Rhys Miller make a decision quicker than he has to, and he's lucky that ball wasn't picked off. He threw it in no man's land. Lucky that there was not an interception there. It's 4th down. This is the ball game.
This is it. 4th and 2. From the 42-yard line. 2 yards to keep the drive going. Rhys Miller drops it, got it away, caught. That's a first down. And pulled in again. Tyquez Mallett. Got to go though. 18 seconds and counting. Paused after that first down. It'll start now, and it does. Now you got to spike it here to stop the clock. 15 seconds to play.
Clock did not stop right away.
Yeah.
About another 0.8 of a second ran off there after the ball was clocked. And the officials are talking this thing over. There are 15.2 seconds remaining now. But once again, Mallett coming up with a huge play, and good job by South Meck of getting those guys in order. Making sure the official gets the ball to spot it. You've got to hand him the ball.
Exactly.
We learned that in the San Francisco-Dallas playoff game.
Right.
But that's going to be a false start. South Meck moved too early, so take back what I just said.
5 yards.
Back them up 5 yards.
Brings this to just north of the 40. They'll plop it at the 42-yard line.
A stoppage in the action again here. The ball was in the wrong spot. Should have been at the 48, not the 47-yard line.
Down
Yard there.
to the 48-yard line.
Second down and long. And 2nd and 15 here from the 48. 15 seconds to play.
So it's first down.
Flip it over now, and it is reading first down far side. So it'll be 1st and long. Only changes the down. The distance is still the same. Rhys Miller drops, pumps it out, intercepted, and that will end the game. Robert Graham comes through with what ultimately will be a game-winning interception for Olympic, their 3rd of the night, their 14th of the season. 3 seconds left, and this game will finally end.
Oh, what a heartbreaker, but they got the pressure on the Ortho Carolina instant replay, and Rhys Miller overthrew the pass. He was trying to get it to Chris Brown, the senior wideout, but had a great night tonight defensively, and that's going to do it. Olympic is going to pull this game out. an indescribable marathon of a game with so many twists and turns. And Olympic is going to move to 8-0, and South Meck's going to drop to 3-5.
One more play, and again, victory formation for Olympic. If they can get this one off without any extra, it would officially end things. They do. Clock runs, and that is it. 28-22, Olympic over South Mecklenburg. What a way to get to 8-0, and both teams are just going to run to their respective locker rooms, and there's not really much else to say, Armand, except somehow, some way, Olympic holds on here and wraps up what is no doubt going to be one of the most discussed games of the season that happened here on this 14th night of October 2022. Wow, and Olympic gets a win.
Olympic wins it, and I'll simply say there will be a lot of conversation about this game for a lot of different reasons, but kudos to South Meck for hanging in there tough. Congrats to Olympic for staying undefeated.
Yeah, that's it for our entire team led by Jay Bell. All of our great camera work tonight. Everybody was here for the entire duration and did a great job for our season finale of the Charlotte High School Football Rivalry Series powered by Ortho Carolina. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, our entire team. 28-22 the final. Olympic over South Mecklenburg. It's been a fun fall, and we ended it in crazy, spectacular fashion. Good night from Olympic High School in Charlotte. Sleep well.